Okay, just final checks to make sure that I am connected everywhere where I need to be connected. Okay, so this feels like a post-match. It feels like a post-match discussion analysis session. First time we've had this. I couldn't be live at 6 o'clock. It's an awkward time for me. But it was very good to watch this game, Mamelodi Sundowns, on SABC. Hey, SABC Plus was not the best app to use, so I had to use the website. But nonetheless, we got to watch Mamelodi Sundowns beat Pyramids 1-0 to, again, cement their top spot. Currently, how it sits is that TP Mazembe has also won their game versus Nwadibu. So they are on 7 points. Mamelodi Sundowns is on 7 points, but they have a slightly superior goal difference to TP Mazembe. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host. This show is on every Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. and then Fridays 12:30 for my members, and also watch-alongs where possible during the week and on the weekend of the Big Three or any of the national teams. Bafana Bafana, Banyana Banyana, and in some cases, Banyana Bastyle. But I'm here. No, agent, I had to go through my post-match, pre-match stuff. Guys, I dropped a video today on YouTube, so please do me the favor of checking them out. Also, while you're there, you can see any of the other different conversations we've had on this here channel. So let's jump right into the game. So, Sundowns beat Pyramids 1-0 in Egypt. There was so much said. No, Fistin Mayele was putting up posts speaking about, hey, you guys denied me a visa. I couldn't enter your country. You'll see when you get back to Cairo. I'm going to show you. Wara. Then we actually saw him back in Cairo. And guys, this Pyramids team is not special. This Pyramids team is not special. Let me first start with the game itself, the outside of the game. I thought our stadiums being empty was a thing that is a problem on our side. You know, we often make fun of Mamelodi Sundowns fans, or, you know, the 57 of you don't want to go and go watch at the stadium, yada, yada, yada. Then you go and watch what Pyramids had in their stadium, and that thing was empty. That thing was empty. It didn't feel like a Champions League game. Even when the game started itself, Pyramids had moments based off of Sundowns making mistakes. But for the most part, they look like a normal team, an average team. You know, it doesn't seem like they have a tactic to go forward with. It seems as though they were hoping that Mayele or Lake would pull something out of the hat. They sat back for a lot of the game, letting Sundowns come in and play. Yes, I did watch the game, GT. Letting Sundowns play. They did try come alive towards the end, but it was a bit too late. And again, we get to that point where I asked the question, Guti, are these teams all just, by nature, are they teams that play at the back and sit back? Or is Sundowns, guys, really that scary that they can go and play a match on the weekend and have a team park the bus, and they can come and play a match versus the Pyramids, and another team parks the bus in Egypt? You know, we saw it versus Al Ali. We saw Wydad come and do that when they came to Pretoria. Should we just accept and start accepting that Sundowns is a scary team? Because you'd imagine that in a group that is so close, before this game, they were all on 4 points, right? Which meant that this game was for anybody to win. So you'd expect that when Sundowns has to travel away to Pyramids, Pyramids would play better. In fact, Pyramids played better in South Africa than they did tonight in Cairo. Lake didn't get those chances that he got in the first game. And Mayele, for all of his talk, he didn't look very dangerous. But anyway, Mamelodi Sundowns won 1-0 through a goal from Teboho Mokoena. I don't know. Maybe we had a family gathering this weekend and I told him, hey, Mokoena, shoot, man. and he shot and scored, so that's a good thing. He did get injured. I don't know if he's going to be back, when he's going to be back, how that injury is. We'll hear from Urulani and Sundowns in the next coming days. But yeah, that was the game. I'm going to let people in so that we can have a discussion about what we saw here. To join the show, just know that you have to be following me here on TikTok. Join me while I'm live. Click on the multi-guest button at the bottom of your screen, request, and I'll let you in. Let's have a discussion over what we literally just saw from Mamelodi Sundowns playing versus that Pyramids team. Let me read some of the comments. We win, Chigi Chigi, we are later, guys. GT says they talk too much. Pyramids, I think they're good when it comes to parking the bus, but all in all, they're normal. Exactly, Kolani. They didn't feel as though there was something, man. Nelo says, powerful team. So Kolani. GT says, I fail to understand how teams fail to punish Mamelodi Sundowns when they start at the back like that. And that is a talking point, because the few chances that Pyramids were able to get came from them pressing high. Maybe that teaches you something of a weakness that Sundowns has, but in the same token, they made it out unscathed again, even with those weaknesses, against what we term is better competition. But it's fine. Kumo, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you? Kumo, are you with me? Agent, I'm going to come to you while Kumo gets ready there. Santana celebrate. Oh, how about
I just put to it's fine.
So get off the phone with Sophie, Kumo. Please get off the phone with Sophie and give us some attention, man.
No, man, get some turbulence, man. You know you're in the air. Ish, I'm sorry, guys. How's everyone doing?
No, I'm good, Kumo. Tell me, what did you see from this game?
Joe, right, it was one of the better games I've seen from Sundowns in a long while. The combination play,
Are you
could have scored
outside?
more goals.
Wait,
but
are you-
before I get to the on how he played, you know? No, it's my bride. There's a storm coming in. It's raining like hard.
Hey. Really busy more. Because it's interrupting you
Yeah, I get
talking.
blessings. I get ruined. So obviously, we're going to bless us. So I don't know.
Okay, let's do this. I'm going to let Agent come in.
I don't know, man.
And then
No,
hopefully when you get back, the sound will be a little bit better.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Agent, hey, Kumo is outside celebrating in the rain. How are you, my brother?
I mean, it's the plane, man. You know, when you're in the sky, you hear all kinds of sounds.
Tell me, what did you see from this game?
I think maybe we need to have an honest discussion, maybe, about Sundowns. To be honest, you know, can I take the scheme as
Oh, Sundowns fans, King La Fonelana right now. Guys, please request. There's 2 spaces open here as well that you can join in. Just remember, you have to be following me and click on request, and I'll let you in. Agent, you can carry on. What's going on, guys? King, Le Fonelana le bomutsepe.
Hey, no, man, hey, bro, I think I told you that, anyways, it's fine. My wife is not here, so, you know, anyways. No, he has to come first, guys. He has to come first. But anyways, what else I think? I think we have to have an honest conversation about Sundowns. Maybe, just maybe, there is no team that can go pound for pound the way we like with Sundowns. Maybe the best way to beat Sundowns to sit back and capitalize on their mistakes and catch them on the counter. You know. So I think maybe we are ignorant, or maybe we don't want to accept it, or we don't want to see it. You know. Because I personally, I thought I was gonna see a different Pyramids. They're gonna be on our faces. They're gonna attack us. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. You know,
They're gonna be a home team.
and even after scoring, they didn't open as much as you get. You know, Sundowns looked like the home team. You know, and I thought maybe even after conceding, maybe they'll come at us. But still, they sat back. You know, they're like, you know what? probably going to get a chance and score, so let's not open up. So I think Sundowns maybe has that fear factor in them that maybe as South Africans we're overlooking. Right. But coming to the game, interesting game, to be honest with you. And I think, like he always says, we talk about different kinds of things in the group. So in the group, I did mention that I was interested that we're playing Umudiba and Masheho at the same time, which was interesting because usually we did that against Dupree, but it was AB, and I thought that was to cover to counter the speed of Dupree. But he played this, and those guys are fast, So it was interesting because then you looked at the build-up play. Usually Sundowns builds with the two center backs, but today they built with the two fullbacks. The two center backs pushing to the midfield. So I think it was an interesting game, tactically to watch. And then I think the Pyramids coach responded. What he did is he overloaded the Modau side, and then they did the switch. And it was getting on my nerves because every time they did the switch, that guy was isolated, And I was like, Rulani, come on, solve it out. But kudos to them. And yeah, I think Rulani is learning. I think one thing about Rulani is you can't beat him twice with the same thing. Never. So I think it was part of the plan and it worked. We were able to carve them open. And he learns. Last year, if it was Rulani last year, he was going to go attack. But today it's like, you know what, guys? We're 1-0 up, 5 minutes, 10 minutes left. Let's close shop. He brings in Vala, and Vala was heading those balls, all the balls away. Obviously, Mbala has a mistake in him. He almost made a mistake, but still, he made almost all the clearances. So kudos to Rulani. So yeah, it was a good game. Disappointed with Pyramids.
Okay, Kolani, I'm in because every time these matches finish, I have to say that no, the other team was average, the other team was below average. Are we underrating you guys? And what did you see from this game? Welcome. Oh.
Sharp out here. Into the panel. Okay, Welcome.
What's happening? Kumo, are you coming back?
Yeah, my network is fine, but I don't know if you guys can hear me. I get it's raining hard. Man.
Yeah. Let's
Can you hear me?
try. Let's try. I can hear you a little bit, but there's a bit of interference every now and then. But let's try.
Like my mouth is literally up there on the speaker on the mic.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. As I was saying, this Sundowns team, wow, man. Like today was one of the better performances I saw from Sundowns in a while. Maybe we can say we've been blaming fatigue or maybe lack of motivation. But today it's like they were playing for something bigger than them, eh? They knew Mazembe won earlier on and they had to regain their top spot. So now, if you guys have any doubts or Sundowns is the best team, I don't know what else to say, what else to give you. Because when they have to, they can switch it up easily. The amount of players we have in our squad, it's one to behold. Eh? And rumors that we're gonna get more people is nice. But one thing that I wasn't happy with Sundowns today, man, they tried to get their possession game, their usual style. But when they have to pass to the final third or maybe get into the box, they were quite sloppy. Hey, they were quite sloppy. And this time you can't really blame the Pyramids Stadium facilities because they are one of the best. I wouldn't say the best, but like they were there, they were okay. So we can't blame them. I don't know, man. And I don't know, maybe we're going 2 to 3 games without Chalulile and his striking partner Ribeiro without scoring, and that's a bit worrisome, eh? It's a bit worrisome. I don't like what's happening now. And Zwan is always tweetful, but then again, we can say Sharp is a midfielder. But bruh, that was a point blank. Why can't you, instead of like try and get it like to side, make the keeper work hard for a save, not just blast the ball into his path, like straight right to the guy. So, but yeah, I guess we survived. It's a 1-0 score, so we can't really blame Zwane because we won. It's fine. We got the 3 points. But yeah, man, this Sundowns team, this side, man, man, like, this team should have been the one that's playing at the Club World Cup now. But anyway, let's win this CAF. Let's win this CAF and let's see what's gonna happen next year. Man, I'm happy to be a Sundowns fan. I can't tell you guys how ecstatic and excited I am.
Okay. By Sundowns, but it's fine. Kolani.
Other teams.
Leave us alone, man. Kolani. How are you, my brother?
Man, akubuza uthi akubuza.
Tell me. We weren't Johnny Lecky.
I was disappointed with the pyramid phase. I thought they were going to give us a run for our money. But if we might as well just go to the World Cup because Africa you can't dominate playing away. It's like Sundowns was the home team, and I'm very happy with the improvement. Gamasheko. Yeah, I'm very happy with the improvement. Gamasheko is getting a hang of it. Yeah, and if it shows as a coach, sometimes you have to be stubborn and believe we tactics in our players are. Other than that, I was very happy with the performance of Machita. If we could like Slungis last state and try and get an extra touch, extra pass, it's over right space. Because combination play besimnandi cool face and it growth come coolisi. Wow.
Sure. Okay. Let me bring in stepfather. Hey, stepfather. How are you, my brother? Sazobakibela or?
I am disappointed. Le pyramids, as I'm team. I know they playing like they won the first leg. Kangazi. I don't know if they Baboni the table team. When they going to this game, they were level on point with the Sundowns, and then Sundowns was above them because they were. I think it's goal difference or something.
Goal difference,
so when they played like, I don't know, maybe they won here in South Africa or what. They just relaxed and then Sundowns up the tempo and they scored. After Sundowns scoring and still Abenzi next to come back on the game. These guys, I don't know. Seriously, disappointing me. And then pick up to Sundowns. I mean, I hate them, but then congratulations to them. They won. They won. Congratulations to them. But Pyramids in Portland, next time, bring up the stars and reach Champions League. Was Port.
Let me read the comments. Odrick says everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, playing from the back. Starting the ball at the back today was not working for us. I think Alenda was not performing well, says Polani man. And then Sundowns will win the tournament, says Wong Aletu. I hope so, but in Africa, teams know how to play dirty, says Ukumo. Friends of Pyramids, at stepfather. Kumo, I want to speak about this thing because we saw glimpses today of a press working versus Sundowns. And as we've spoken about Sundowns over the past few months, they do have weaknesses, but these teams don't exploit them. Like Pyramids came very close a few times to winning that ball back up high. They actually won the ball back a few times up high, but then they stopped doing it after a while. Can you explain, man, what causes this thing that all teams are just, they don't want to take advantage of these type of things?
Yeah, if it happened more than once, then you can say Sundowns fluke when it comes to such things. A lot of teams have shown that, obviously, you can beat Sundowns by high pressing us, but the fact that a lot of teams are failing, it shows already that's not the case, right? Yes, you can have glimpses in pockets or different spells, but bruh, you have to maintain such things for like the entire game. And I'm gonna, yeah, fine. You guys can kill me. It's fine. I'm gonna down my heel. It's fine. Only teams that I've seen it. Only teams that I've seen pressing high like that for the entirety of the game are Liverpool, Manchester Cities, Real Madrid, maybe to a certain extent Aston Villa. But one, it's a thing that most teams can't do it, and that's why they prefer to do low blocks or sounds against Sundowns and rely on counter attack. Because I mean pyramids, when it comes to counter attack, they're quite deadly. But unfortunately, they signed the wrong striker from South Africa. They called him the striker like, hey, and that Maela, can this guy is all talk and nothing. I agree he was saying we didn't want him, they were scared of him, that's why we denied him visa. But also when he was supposed to be playing Europe with his squad, with his national team, the DRC, he was also denied a visa. So apparently rumors were that he was supposed to come to Sundowns. I'm happy we didn't go that route. Hey, there was nothing about this guy. There was nothing. There was like, no man, this guy is good. He's sharp. He's all talk and no action. Did he even get a shot on target? Because I don't like he wasn't memorable, man. So one thing I can tell you, Sundowns. Man, they fool you, they make you believe, oh, yeah, let's play. I'm gonna use your code now. Let's play. Then they're like, okay, you think you can win? We'll just, put in the hammer blow, the hammer punch, and your hopes and dreams are all over.
But then I wanna ask you about this pound for pound thing that everybody says. Is pound for pound is this pound for pound thing a weakness, a myth? If I can say, because all we've seen this season is low block and Sundowns wins. But the few games where Sundowns has sneezed a little bit or shaken a little bit, it's been pound for pound. Whether you look at TS Galaxy, that game that they played and then they went into a low block and lost. When you look at, you can look at the Pirates game. Is this thing a myth, man, that you can't play Sundowns pound for pound? And is the myth the thing that's holding these teams back?
Let me be honest, and okay, guys, you can start recording this live. I'm gonna admit something. I was trying to be humble. Whenever I was trying to be humble, like no team can go pound for pound with Pirates, with Sundowns. Pirates, they were rumored they were like saying, yeah, pound for pound, they've got the same stars, pound for pound, they can go for Sundowns. So, okay, fine. We'll give them that just in case this backfires. Then they were saying, maybe Al Ahly has the bigger squad, better squad, if not the best squad. But honestly, someone like him. We've got the best squad, the huge squad, quality squad. Our play is not one-dimensional. Ke chameleon, ke low block, ke shoe shining piano. Sometimes never panic mode, but defensive mode. You understand? So show me any other team that has all those attributes besides having big names. One of the only time that Sundowns see a failure to compete with any other team on the continent, it's only prestige, the popularity that you guys have. That you guys will lose, but other than that, in every aspect, Sundowns is number one, can't they?
Okay, you guys got Coach Adil Ramsey fired. You are one of the reasons why the white head coach lost his job. Let me go to Agent. Agent, is this pressing thing a myth? Because in as much as everybody keeps saying, no, you can't go pound for pound with Sundowns, you must go low block. The low block fella have been beaten, and TP Mazembe, TS Galaxy, some second halves, maybe you'll say Amazulu, maybe, when they have upped it a little bit, they've found some of the weaknesses. Is this thing, man, just a myth that now, because you guys are so big, teams are just scared? But when you look at it,
I wanted to answer your first question firstly that you asked Ukumo about why teams can sustain the high intensity, high pressure game. It's a very deadly game, eh? It's Matthias, you know Matthias, yeah. It's casino, you know, because first things first, it takes a toll on your mind because it's not always about a matter of pressing, it's a matter of setting pressing traps, knowing when to press, knowing when to hold your position. So that needs a great deal of mentality, you know, so that doing it over and over again, like, takes a toll on you, you know, and add on top of that the physical strain that you encounter, you know. And again, you should remember that if the team, which is as good as Sundowns, breaks the block, I mean, what is it? What is the word? Not breaks the block. Passes the press. It's a good situation, you know, because you're exposed at the back, you know. So it's something that you have to do in moments. And to answer your question, you don't go pound for pound with Sundowns necessarily, but you choose your moments well. I think Amazulu were a great example of that. Amazulu, first 10 minutes, last 10 minutes, second half, first 10 minutes, second half, last 10 minutes, second half. And then I said, you know what, you look at it, Sundowns dominated for you for 60, and for 40, you match them. That is good enough, you know, to win any game. So, excuse me. So what you should know is Sundowns is gonna give you a chance. You know, somehow, somewhere, Sundowns, you have a chance in you. The question is, can you convert that chance? You know?
Exactly.
Look at what Mazembe did. Held on, and they got one chance, just one chance, and they buried it. You know, Tears the Galaxy, I don't want to analyze it. That coach Babalaza's too much, so I don't want to talk about it. But other games, it's a case of, do you see the opportunity and can you utilize it? Because be fair, Pyramids got opportunities, you know, but they didn't utilize them. You know, so it's a combination of choosing your moments well in the 90, which is the 40 minutes that you have, that you can do that pressing and you can sustain it, and combine that with being clinical and converting your chances.
Okay. Let me go to Kolani. Same two questions to you. Why can't teams keep it up? I mean, you see teams find a weakness. So, for example, Pyramids had a period where that playing out from the back from Sundowns was a little bit shaky, but then for some reason they abandoned it. And then the second question I want to ask you is, can you come out positive? Is this thing of saying that Sundowns will beat you down if you come out positive real, or is it just a myth? Because I'm counting now. Leaking, we've seen tons of teams come and play defensive versus Sundowns. We've seen people, Al Ali came and played defensive, Wydad came and played defensive. All the teams that have faced the Sundowns have played some sort of low block, and yet they've all been beaten. But the ones where there was maybe a loss or a draw or something were those ones that were a little bit more positive. Maybe not pound for pound, but positive. Is this thing, man, is it a myth?
Yeah, I would say I can say it's a myth because we first team abani approach ka pound for pound and we beat them with 5 goals, yeah, bo? And not just minor teams like abo beat them
Mara this season.
twice.
Mara this season.
So I think who agent to right you can press us in moments, not like the whole game, because we're Qatar, yeah, players tend to get tired when they chase the game young. So yeah, and that, yeah.
No, you can go on.
Yes, we've looked this season, like Amazulu did try and kind of they didn't like manage to win. Now kind of I could say my players were a bit fatigued, yeah, because I think the Amazulu best like 2 days Sibuyile from playing away Africa, so nakona naloko ngaba effect. And it sometimes will continue to prove abantu ukuthi the game will be played in the pitch, not on paper, because last week when we drew against Pyramid, Abo Aputi Kuto, they were out here telling us Uguti Pyramid is buying players a Europe and they've got better players. Okay, fine. Even the Paris, by Ashuguti Paris, they're a better team on paper. If game we don't play a game a paper at Sundowns, we play the game on the field. Nilapho uzobona khona equality ne-system esebenza for our players.
Okay. Stepfather, sengibuze be-Sundowns. Yes, stepfather, sengibuze be-Sundowns. Ufuna ukubuza wena. This pound for pound thing that you can't play Sundowns like that, is it a myth? Ngoba wonke lama team adlala Sundowns defensive, adlala Sundowns low block, have all lost this season. And the Sundowns is not necessarily blowing teams away ngabuma 5-0. Is it just Guti Saba is Sundowns because they've been so dominant over the years that even Masbo and time and there's some weaknesses there, they don't take advantage of them?
Yeah, see, I think it's a lack of good coaches, Buffett. I mean, the Pyramids today, they had a chance, but still they failed to equalize that. So, this thing, pound to pound, if we had good coaches, Sundowns is beatable, Buffett. But the thing is, Shawabo coach. That's why so the City Sundowns, you can't match them pound to pound because now, but you can if you have a good coach. So all these teams, Sundowns, if you have border because they don't have coaches. I mean, if I was a Pyramids, what, you can't approach a game like that. You are losing 1-0 and then they lose the player who's giving you the problem in the middle. Still, you can't plan. But still you fail. You don't have coaches, but you don't. I mean, Rivera has shown us what you can beat Sundowns. If Uba play, so these teams are, wow. Amazon has shown us what you can beat these guys. But still, that coach Pyramids, I mean, I'm so Sundowns perfect. Yes, man, quality. I admit, they have quality. But you can beat them. Mawaklinya uzwana uklinya this guy Rivero uklinya umkwene center uklinya umdawuda uqedile ngabo but still you fail to see that is abo coach laba badlala le team le. I think it's abo coaches ngenabo.
Okay. Look, guys, this is why I'm asking, and I'm not asking this question. We're gonna speak about the credit that Sundowns has. The reason why I'm asking is, if this season has shown us anything, it's that low block doesn't work. Low block will still get you a loss. There's still 13 games, 11 games unbeaten in the league. Still, whether you're low blocking, whether you're sitting back, whether you're being safe, whether you're doing whatever. But the few times that we've seen teams try, TP Mazembe went pound for pound to the nth degree, where both sides were having chances. They took the chances, they won. Pirates played pound for pound with them, arguably lost by a penalty. Chiefs at some point played a little bit of pound for pound, and they lost by an offside goal and whatever. Now, I hear you guys saying that Sundowns is dominant, and you should give them credit that maybe they've got a second gear that they can go to should they need to, as they showed in the Chiefs match, as they showed in the TS Galaxy match. But this season, you can't tell me that this is the same Sundowns that will blow you away 5-0. You get what I mean? And I think it's a tactical cop-out for coaches to come out and say, no, we want to manage the game. Marandliwe. Pyramids managed this game, or tried to manage this game. They lost. Al Ali tried to manage the game versus Sundowns in Cairo. They lost. TP Mazembe came out all guns blazing. There they go. They got something. Pyramids came out last week and played a positive game. They looked dangerous. Ulake missed a lot of chances that were clear-cut. So I'm not asking the question to try down his Sundowns. I'm asking the question that when we all of us come out and we just use the blanket answer of, no, guys, you can't go pound for pound with Sundowns, right? I don't even believe in going pound for pound. I believe in being smart, but you can't do it. You're going to catch 5. We haven't seen it outside of Golden Arrows. You could say outside of Cape Town Spurs, the worst team in the league. Those are the high-scoring games. You get what I mean? Let me read some of these comments before I go back to Kumo. Sundowns makes you feel like you could do it. At that time, Knicks, true, in today's game, they were proving a point to the opponent. Imagine one goal and they relax. And Arrows tried that nonsense and got smacked. How are you doing, Wahib? So all these teams don't have coaches. No way, Sundowns just too good. Ali beat a team with Benzema, Kanti, Fabinho, and company. And he beats them one way. Asbonge, Sfundo. Amazulu, come on, guys, just accept that Rulani has plan B. Look at what happened to TS Galaxy. It's easy to talk. Uti, mawungaklinya abadlali abathathu bonke. Oh, Rivero is the only one who can win against Sundowns. Pyramids can definitely win. No, guys, Pyramids played very well, but Mamelodi Sundowns did their homework. Even how they spread on the pitch, give credit where credit is due. GT says, but OT, we should talk about how to beat Sundowns, not how you could or might or maybe can beat Sundowns. Sundowns lokshaya khetla ungaziyeli ngobuso. I've spoken about how to beat Sundowns a few times. Let me check here on Facebook what's happening there. You once said that teams come alive at the death of the game, but at the end of the game, you join a long list of teams losing to Sundowns. I love Sundowns, man. We're taking over Africa. That's what we need, says Ukeni Bongs. Miselo says, this result will bring the boys' mentality back. The resilience to grind a 1-0 result away from home against a good team. They chose to play a low block against us. Pressing downs takes a lot out of players. That's why they try and they can't keep up. Cornelia says you can't try press Sundowns and you won't do it for the whole game. The KC and OP fans always doubt Sundowns when they draw, lose, and CAF. Mamelodi Sundowns, as Pito Msimani says, is the biggest team in South Africa right now, says Cornelius. Okay, now I'm going to switch it. Look, I've said over and over again here that Sundowns has done this so many times that it's no longer a question of is it something they're not in control of, because they've shown it by beating a lot of teams the exact same way. You think you're in it. You may be a goal disallowed away, an offside goal away, but Oksala, you lose at the end of the day. They've got a long streak. Kumo, what does Sundowns do very well, especially in these games? Because it seems as though it doesn't matter what opposition you bring to Sundowns, they barely have to get out of second gear. And one could argue that those teams think they're in it because you guys are in second gear. What does Sundowns do so well, especially in these type of games?
Okay, when they say Riviero, Bara the coach who takes Galaxy. It's a question. I'm trying to understand something. Eh?
Why
So
are you
that's why
going
you
to
beat Thunder.
beef, man? No,
I
beef,
can
man.
believe, no, like I don't believe in ambiguity. Like I want to understand what's happening. I want
Where Rivero be coach a Pirates?
Oh, him. Oh, okay, no.
Thanks for asking. When I was confused, man.
Aish.
They got me one way. Hey, Peter's one way. I'm like, hey, which one is that one?
Man, come on, man. What do you guys do well, man? No.
Okay, what we do well is that we never panic, right? We try by all means to stay true to our style of play. Can't why philosophy? Ne? Yeah, we try to remain true to our philosophy and our style of play. Like we've been in much situations more one go okay. We've never been in a situation where a team dominates us, right? So even when Boma Zembe, when they scored, it's like they invoke a demon in Sundowns. Let's Sundowns is like, okay guys, we 1 goal behind, let's throw everything, including the kitchen sink. Let's try and get let's try our goal, let's try and win this. Like the more you attack, the more you score, the more Sundowns wants to overwhelm you and try and restore their lead or get more goals again. So the mentality that I've seen in this Sundowns across everyone else, I've never seen it anywhere else, is that they've got so much brotherhood, so much unity, so much compassion. There's no jealousy. Yes, you can argue and say, Hore, maybe sometimes the strikers can be selfish and not pass to someone who's in a far better position than they are. But that happens. Strikers are like that, right? I mean, like with all the superstars and all the high salaries, that's that people have in Sundowns and people that are being benched. You would think Hore, there's a culture that is brewing Hore, we're gonna be jealous, favoritism, you know, but we don't see it. Even as much as we other opposition players like Wisdom Father wanna see it, they don't show it, you know. So that besides having playing beautiful football and having a nice style and not panicking, but one thing that stands out for me in the Sundowns team is the brotherhood and unity, and having that you can conquer almost anything on the pitch.
Okay. Agent, I'm going to come to you with the same thing. You know, we've spoken about Sundowns of old that were blowing teams away 5-0, but they weren't getting the wins like this one. What is Rulani doing that everybody feels that the Sundowns is beatable, but when you look on paper, very few teams, I think it's 2 teams this year have beat you guys. Well, technically, with the penalty losses too, maybe 4 teams in all of the games you've played so far. What is Rulani getting right, man, this year? Kadi 1-0, let's say.
Baba, and remember his uncle is Jomoson, eh? You know Jomoson and Cosmos, eh? You know what I'm talking about. Combine that with the Inyok.
But it's fine.
But I think there's a thing called muscle memory, you know. When you do things, you know, repetitively, you do them without thinking, like they come natural, you know. You can take I'm not saying Mkhulisi is one, hear me and hear me well. Okay, let me use Alende. I'm not saying Mkhulisi is Alende, but you take Alende out and you put Mkhulisi besides Omokwena. Mkhulisi does the same thing, you know. And these guys, you can pass to them when they have 4 players around them. They're still gonna call for the ball. And I'm still gonna turn, and I'm still gonna pass, you know. So it's the stubbornness for me from Rulani that it's a high risk game. I don't like it, to be honest with you, but it's working, you know. It's a case of if it's working, it's you know, when you are pitching a tire and you see where the hole is and you slightly put the patch somewhere where it's not supposed to be. But the car is going, you leave it, you don't touch it, it's fine, you know. So I think that is Sundowns for me, that somehow somewhere is working, the high risk, high reward is working, and the conserving of energy and keeping the teams in the game is working, you know. So they might as well continue with it. But I think Ukuma said one of the important things that is the brotherhood, is the understanding that, okay, Umbule, you are man of the match previous game. Next game, 90 minutes bench, you know? And next game, and when he scored, the whole bench invited him to come and receive slaps, you know? So that is the brotherhood that Ukumo is talking about, you know? And how does that translate to the football pitch? It means when a player does a mistake, you don't say, it was your man, you lost your man, or you just your mistake, you cover it. They work for each other. They cover for each other. You know, you'd see Maseko sprinting all over the field. Oshalulile, I think he did a clearance on the other side, you know. I'm like, what is Salule doing here, you know? So there's that brotherhood also. And I don't blame him. I don't blame Pito. I don't blame Pito. Pito, I think, had arrived to a stage where he doesn't need to coach.
Okay.
You know? So what he did was, his philosophy was, I don't have time to coach. I'm in the business of winning, you know? So I don't have time to improve players, you know? So what I do, if you're still raw, I'll loan you out and you improve your own and come back, you know? The way he did with Uzwane, and it was an effective thing, and it's still an effective, it's still something that I would personally go to. But you look at Urulani is improving this place. I think this is the difference between him and the previous coaches. He's improving this place. You can see the difference. I had written Umkhulisi off, you know. I think he was that youngster, was going to be a youngster till 30 and still playing like a youngster, you know. But now there's that maturity, there's that thing. You're like, okay, he's receiving coaching, you know. Best left back in Africa, I can put it that way, you know. So the coaching is top notch. The players are top notch. The system is top notch. The what is it called? The organization outside football pitch is top notch. So everything is in alignment. It's sometimes what you call stars are aligning. You know. So yeah.
Okay, Kolani, same question to you. It feels as though the Sundowns Akdala used to, I don't know how to put it. You know how we're talking about pound for pound now? It feels like that Sundowns used to blow a team out, but then maybe they'd fall off somewhere. But the Sundowns, Leabo 1-0, Leabo second gear, is doing far better than those previous Sundowns. What is Rulani getting right in this team?
I think I'm gonna sound like a broken record man mangitshela nge-chemistry othi ne-trust yabo ama players sometimes they trust each other. Like you could check them mabe when the celebration if they scored from the bench they go to the corner yabo. If a player li miss a chance uzobona kuzoqhamuka elinye player and then try and pull him up and give him the motivation. It was okay, you're gonna have another chance. Let's continue do what we know best. So I think that's their secret. When I would see our players play for each other. You can't like there was a chance like I think the Robert before pass and he opted to shoot. But akekho umuntu omthethisile yabo they all clap and then bakala phansi futhi. I think isecret lapho na uthi the system ke fethu yabo. Sundowns under Pito it wasn't playing like this. Okay, there was a bit of tiki-taka lapha, but mazo bheka bomkhulisi ama players don't hide yabo when we have the ball. Like they always avail themselves ukuthi yabo and give a player in position of the ball ukuthi abe nama option amaningi yabo. And ne-rest defense ke yethu ke first yabo. And nalento ayisho coach ukuthi we play in pictures yabo. You behave a certain way when you're in this position yabo. Why bayichaza lento first. So and it's also helping us ama fans ukuthi ucoach wethu akhulume kakhulu first like my press conferences and try and make us understand what is he trying to do yabo lona, because now I feel like I can coach yabo listening to him yabo lona. Sure.
Okay. Hey, we improve nonke nama fans. Let me go to Stefana. Hi man, ngiyezwa this year City this team is beatable. Ngiyezwa man. After every game siyasho ukuthi no, if this one took this chance, if this one did this, if this one did that, if this one did that, maybe we get a win. What is Rulani doing well? Because at the same time as this being the most beatable Sundowns, it's also the one that has won all these games. What is Rulani getting right this year?
Hey, this one, even though I hate them, but those guys are family. They love each other. They play for each other. They don't have this thing of this guy is a big player. For example, Uzwani is a star player, but they don't treat him like Uzwani is a star player. They are all equal. They play for each other. They love each other. They unite, and for them, a draw is feel like a lose. They love to win. They used to winning, even though they win with 1-0 now, what. But then Rulani is not doing much. But then it's easy for him to work with those players because they enjoy winning. So for Rulani, it's easy to coach those guys because they feel like they are brothers now. You don't see them trending for wrong leaders in the somewhere. They used to winning. So Rulani, it's easy for Rulani to get those boys to win, even if they're winning with 1-0 or what. But then for them, a draw feels like a lose. Do you understand? So the unity, the trust, the love, the brotherhood, everything for them, they become a big family. Those guys are family. Even if you don't see Zwane, but you see someone like also in that space, Zwane, and you don't feel like Zwane being like a game. You understand? So
Okay.
it's easy for Roland. Roland is not doing that much. But then Roland came to the place where winning is a culture. Now, those guys, they've made winning a culture, even if they win with 1-0. But you know what Sundowns has won. And because of it, and we feel it once they win with 1-0, but you feel it still with these guys, and who's going to stop them? So Roland, for him, it's easy to coach those guys because they love each other. They are the unit. They play for each other.
Okay. Okay. No, thank you, Stefano. Thank you to the first panel. Just to jump in, look, this is how I feel about his Sundowns. I feel like what Rulani's added to his Sundowns, there's an assuredness of how they play. It almost feels like they don't rush. And the other part is that not only do they not rush, but when they're caught off guard, they are able to fix it. Take today's match, right? Sundowns had 20 fouls, 20 fouls versus Pyramids' 5, right? Which means, that says to me that not only can we play the ball, but when we caught out, we don't mind, man. We don't mind gancane lapha ku midfield. We don't mind those type of things. So I think what I enjoy from his Sundowns right now is that it feels like they're not playing to blow teams out. They're playing enough to do just enough to get over that hurdle because they understand that there's more games to come. And I said this earlier in the season that it felt like Urulani was practicing go PSL. Hit you 1-0. Let's see how to defend. Let's get into formations to defend. Let's practice that type of thing where we're playing Burnley football, old Burnley football and things like that. I think that is incredible. Because on the flip side, they have the insurance and they also strike when they need to strike. On the flip side, I think it exposes what the other teams lack. Teams play very well versus Sundowns. Then they either get overexcited or they get scared and then they get hit. TS Galaxy played very well versus Sundowns in the first, 20 minutes. Then it was almost like they went, hey, hang on. Ngati is too much. They started sitting back. They started making mistakes. That is the maturity I'm talking about in the Sundowns. You score 1 goal versus Sundowns. No, they continue playing. Almost exactly, depending on what time it is. You score against them, they continue playing. Exactly how they're playing because they understand that there'll be fruits at the end of what they're doing. Right? They trust that there's fruits at the end of what they're doing. The issue with the other teams is that I press now, I come back and I sit back. I press now, I'm running now I'm tired, I'm doing this. Meanwhile, these guys are conserving energy. The few times they'll hurt you. Guys, this Sundowns team doesn't create chances. I don't know if you guys have realized. In most of their matches, they don't create chances. We've spoken about Uribeiro, we've spoken about Ushalulile. They don't blow you out with their chances. They take advantage of mistakes. Think about this game. If Mukwena doesn't take a long shot from outside of the box, something that he's barely done over the past few games, what's the end result? But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they also know 2-0 down versus TS Galaxy, let's turn it up. 1-0 down versus Kaizer Chiefs, let's turn it up. So you could give them the benefit of the doubt of that. But I just want to say, it's that maturity. It's that maturity that Rulani was lacking last season versus the Wheat at Casablanca in that semi-final, when maybe he should have conserved energy. Maybe they should have relaxed. Maybe they should have, played a defensive midfielder. Maybe they should have played a bit of an ugly game, right? So I think he's learned from that. But let me let in the next panel. Malume Kutso, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you? Ay, mina right, Malume Kutso, right, man. Tell me, how did you see this game versus the Pyramids?
Disappointing from Pyramids, man, and greetings to everyone. Disappointing from Pyramids. I thought they would do much better. Yes, they banally a way of playing Yabon that allows them to get in behind. There's an echo.
Let me just check. I'm going to mute to Frank. Let's try it again.
All right. Yeah, banally this style of play is someone that I think teams go to sleep. That's why against Sundowns, first leg, they got so many clear-cut chances, and even in this game, they could have nicked it. Kana Kimang Mayela, who was trending, but on the pitch, it doesn't look like he was worth the tweets. But anyway, he could have scored,
Yeah.
made it 1-1. So they do have that constant threat, which is something might come up, even when it's like one guy right back all alone on the wing. You still look around and think, what's going to happen right now? And there's always a whiff which they can create something out of nothing, as Junior Kanye would say. But all in all, I don't think they played well. If this is how they play, then it's interesting how they think they will win this tournament. I understand. Not a fan of how they played, but I must say, it's heartwarming. In as much as I'm not a Sundowns supporter, but it's heartwarming when the commentator has Sundowns idlala, he says that's how the South Africans prefer to do it. You know, I mean, he kept calling them South Africans. I was like, "Tago commentator, let us share in the glory." You understand? So Sundowns moved the ball very well, but you know what? There's something Kevin Hunt said. There's something I've always subscribed to. The difference sometimes, yes, the tactics are important, but do you have a player that can play a ball in between two players? Consistently play a pass in between Amachita, one way. Because about Allen, the Ronan Williams especially, Rivaldo Kutsie keep on playing a very dangerous pass where they catch people flat-footed, you understand? But it always goes through, you understand? So I think the main difference, in as much as I love the tactics, because it's confusing. You don't know who plays where. They don't have a CDM, but in attack, Tebogo Mokoena can tell you he's a CM, he's not a CDM. Never played CDM at all. The only
Sometimes
person-
8.
He's an 8. I meant to say 8.
Oh, yeah.
He's an 8 the entire game. If in attack, the person who occupies the deep lying playmaker, not even CDM, is Obri Mudibo, you understand?
Yeah.
Tebogo Mokoena is all over the pitch. Allen is all over the pitch. You know, Odala 6, explain 6 is you like high ground. That is exactly what Amachita are doing. So it's interesting to watch. But I don't think we can say it's on purpose that they don't create as many chances. Because if you don't create as many chances, you'll have an Orlando Pirates. And I'm not mentioning Orlando Pirates because I'm a Pirates fan. But you will have an Orlando Pirates situation where you are taken to penalties or you go to sleep and it's curtains for you, you understand? Which is how we beat them. And if you check how Pyramids played and how Pirates played against them in the final, it's copy and paste. If you think about first leg at Pyramid, rush Tembas one, rush everyone. Our Miguel team were rushing about Tebogo Mokoena, and about Tebogo Mokoena we're returning the favor, rushing about Miguel team. Last week Tembas one was rushed the entire game, but today they gave him so much space. You understand? I think which is the main difference, the amount of time given to Sundowns today as opposed to last week.
Okay. I'm gonna come back. I wanna ask you something on that. Stormy. Ngiyazi ukuthi bani network say right bani. Skipper, how are you, my brother? Ngi-right man, ngi-right. Yazi ngijabula network yakho right. But tell me, uyibone njani le game ye-Pyramids ne-Sundowns?
Otis ujabulela into enye, jabulela ne-Sundowns winning. Alo can represent madoda, andinateam ebhasi isodla lapha. Funeka niyazi loo nto. Nookhutsa funeka bayazi nirepresentwa sithi. Uyazi uba what I can say, i-first half i-Pyramids ibizixelela uba izodlala on the low block, basibethe kwi-counter attack, of which is loo nto ibingasebenzi because in most of the time ibhola ibisoloko ingekho kubo, because njengoba bebedlala ngento yoba hayi sizabalinda, then once benza i-mistakes in the counter attack, but ke ngoku Sundowns was very quickly iyocollect ibhola ibindibuye idlala. And at some stage bendinayo indawo ibukoyika because bendizibona ezaa runs zinamayele but ndayibona uba ugrant kekan uyifundile le nto uzawukwazi udilishana naye. So abomuyele no Lucky hayi sibabambe ngesikrothi kwacwaka ngabo. Otherwise igame it was very grand kandijongayo because benewari ngoku unantse kumukwena afumana i-first yellow card because bendiyibona ezithep at some stage igame yabo izawutshintsha ingabi le ndlela abadlala ngayo. Now I was worried ke ngokwasebhusha kwi-first half. Then uRulana made a good change wa-introduce unantsika uzongo. It's when ke ngoku kandibona kwi-second half sikwazile ke ngoku udlala ezaa spaces. Otherwise ii-chances bezingekho too much besizicreator but into besisiyifuna because we're leading to keep the ball bona basoloko befuna ibhola then if then kwenzekile i-chance iyavuleka siyisebenzise loo chance. Otherwise there was a chance uzwane ibikhona akangayisebenzisi. Otherwise if ebeyisikorile uzwane laa chance ngesesiyibhere kwakudala laa game then sidlala igame sibe relaxed. But ke what I like about this game ndiyithanda into yoba silide ngo-1 goal for a very long time so that izasinika into yoba sithi keep on protecting the ball singazukwenza more mistakes because at some stage xa ulida ngo-2-0 uyakwazi urelax but when ulida with 1 goal you don't relax because uyayiqonda anything can happen, the team can score and change the game. But ke ngoku it was okay because it is okay to play under pressure than playing relaxed. Otherwise namhlanje besifundisa abantu isifuthi uba i-Sundowns can play draw at home but at some stage even idlala nawe it can beat you away. So awufuneka ube nalaa nto uba once udrowishe ePitoli automatically when you're playing home uzayitya i-Sundowns. It can't go like this because into endiyibonileyo u-technical team kaRulani is very, very, very good. Taking indlela aba-analyze games of the teams abadlala nazo, it says uba there's hard work behind because xa ndijongayo le Sundowns is totally different kuleya ndandiyibona kaPitso and I'm not saying uba ndikutshela wrong ngoPitso because I'm grateful into wasenzela yona as a team of Sundowns. But ke yaphela icase yakhe ngoku because nonye umntu ngoku was working very hard and kuyabonakala uba uyayidinga laa position more than anyone uRulani. It says ke lot of work and ke ngoku kukho i-team spirit phaa. They're working as a team and i-brotherhood yonke nje oyibonayo. And I think uRulani wazifundisa loo nto uba I will create a conducive environment apho ndizokwazi ii-players ndizitreat as my brothers nazo zinditreate kanjani with understanding. Because if uyaqaphela each and every time bescore they always go bayomnika ihug. It say they're grateful for ii-chances abanika zona and i-game it was okay. And with the change banentwana uMaseko eyi laa Maseko andimthandi lo but namhlanje ebewudlale kakuhle andifundixoka. Bendizithanda ezaa runs ebezenza because bendibona uba they cannot meet his pace but ke ngoku iproblem yinto yakhe uba kuluze ibhola so cheaply. Otherwise igame it wasn't that tough but igame ibingekho lula futhi on the other hand.
Let me bring in Uchero. Chero, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Sharp, how are you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Chero, tell me, what did you see from this game, Pyramid Sundowns?
I thought the game was good, but I was not happy as a Sundowns fan. I think it's just that Ipola Sibuga differently. I'm not saying Mina, my way of looking at it is better than Abanya Band, but I was not happy about the game management. We lost Amapola a lot, which forced these guys to counter attack us. A lot of chances Wabo came through sloppy passes. Mkhulisi, Uzungu, Motiba, I can almost the entire team. But when I'm a pass I lose and when is dangerous, like at the back or in the midfield. I don't think we were clinical today, but I'm very happy for a win. I think big teams know how to win games. So even in Sundowns, they know how to win a game. Even if they didn't perform well, I mean, I've seen better performance, especially playing against Alachi with that. But today I was not happy. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, no. Thanks, Chad. I'm gonna come back. Ludwig, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Ake sharpo chomiaga. What
Oh,
can I
sharp.
say? 3 points
Hey,
in the bag.
gomnati man. Hey, gomnati koko klorkop.
Ya ko tlor ko po hula go le monate. Ge Sundowns se dlala, you just ask or ba winne o kae fela.
Chael, how did you see
Yeah,
this game?
back to the point. Chomiaga, the game wasn't that ka mokgwa ne ke expectile ka teng. Ne ke expectile a very high tempo game where Sundowns they will be serious and score goals. So I don't know when are you gonna learn. We're gonna learn to score more goals away from home, because if we can't score at home, then eventually we must score more at home. Then that will give us an advantage as well, or more group in our role. And another thing, it's a coach. I don't know what did he think, because I was expecting to see more of Mbule than Maseko. He played very well, that guy, last week. So he needed more motivation to go forward so that he can gain his confidence and play more. But there was nowhere to be found today. So Masako was introduced. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. And we know Sundowns, we always starting from the back. But it seems like there is some other time where we know that the North American teams, they are very fast. So we're gonna have a problem guarding back balls with this guy Ronan Williams. I see we're gonna have a very, very serious problem in future. I don't condone that. I know that it's we have 11 players in the field of play because of him. So because of his good ball distribution, but they need to read the game accurately, because in such a games we don't need such a mistakes, especially when we are not solid and clinical in the middle of a park. So we put in too much pressure into defense. But anyway, 3 points. But I'm expecting to see something different in the next game.
Okay. No, Ludwig, I'm gonna come back. Let me read some of these comments quickly. Over here. Let's see. Let's celebrate Sundowns, please, guys. Says Uchuso. Don't worry, we'll represent you. South African, says Ulebza. Let me see. I think I missed some at the top. But OT, we should talk about how to beat. Okay, I read that one. Let me see what's happening quickly on YouTube. Daughter of the Most High says pressing Sundowns is the biggest mistake one can make. They will punish you. Even red cards can't stop us. We love dishing out chest pains. Kawuyelo. Bong says, but my coach, next time when we score first, let's try to outplay. Let's try to utilize the space our opposition left behind, not just continue to play at the back. Our coach Rulani is a hard worker, always does his homework on the opposing team, says Okumoto. Malamakuto, I wanna ask you guys the same question that I asked the previous guys. This don't press Sundowns, don't pound for pound Sundowns, don't play positively versus Sundowns, go into a low block. Is it a myth?
Definitely a myth. I know a team that went and pressed them and rushed them. And I've seen it being done not once but twice. Because teams tend to go for a low block. I've seen it work. But I just want to say, when I'm Mr. Otina, I'm disappointed in mindset of my opponent, especially as I'm a professional, right? There's one thing that teams can do, and if anyone is listening, this will get an advantage, I think. Just respectfully approach the ref and remind the ref that breaking down a promising attack is a booking. Just respectful. Just go into the referee's ear and say, ref, breaking down a promising attack is a booking. You just be on the lookout. If the ref is fair on the day, I'm telling you, by halftime, the entire Sundowns team will be booked. The entire team will be walking on yellows and nearing a red card if you want to play the mental game. So I'm just disappointed that Amachita, Bayakfaula, and I asked of Utito as well, maybe Mfaudu, why are you not falling on the ball? Why are you not making it obvious? Why are you giving Uri a chance to say play on? Fall on the ball so Uri Bagwisile, and if Uri does not make a call for you, you've also curtailed any prospects of your attack. By going, whatever gives you a foul, you want to play quickly. Go there and demonstrate, and not necessarily demonstrate, but faka protest it out. Then you core. Make them badlale ka few king. Babeli issue because we know Umkwena he can't resist.
Yeah.
Uzohlaba.
Mkwena Mudau.
Yeah, there 2 hours about to say Muta. I want Umkwena no Muta or Bahalisela and cheese basokapa. You understand? And Utemba's one is always in the referee's ear. He lets the referee know which referee 1-2 just happened. And when he does that, now in Ginendlebinak, he say referee we have to if there's an issue on the pitch in terms of tactical play, iba namaqhinga man, tricks. I'm disappointed in the North Africans. I thought they'd know how to do this. You understand? I saw Rivaldo could say that boy Maela, Aroshapa scissors kick. They were there. They were in the referee's face to figure a case and a Pyramids player got a yellow card from absolutely nothing. From a point where it was only Mukwena who should have been booked, but 2 players got booked. You understand? Even the Pyramids. So I'm disappointed in that regard. But when it comes to a play straight, but when you press them, just make sure with you also press the second and the third player, not just the guy on the ball. You see, the issue when you press just the guy on the ball is that he's got 2 options or 3 options. And how if Uzoya -1. The only time Uya, you must make sure you cover for number 2 and number 3. Otherwise, we are just wasting our time. We are spulala. You rather sit there.
Okay. Let me bring you Stormy and asking the same question. Stormy, this thing Yoguchi, you mustn't play Sundowns, press Sundowns, you mustn't play them positively. Is it the truth? Gucci, you must much rather sit back, or is it just something we tell ourselves?
As Oti, I will tell you one thing, King Football. Sometimes into about udlala pound to pound, yes, pan. Sometimes udlala low block, yes, pan. Azokwenzela umzekelo. I think ibila World Cup ka-2010 igame yeSpain versus iNetherlands. Igame kwakunokhwe kuyo iBrazil. I think yayinokhwe siSpain either 2010 or 2014. Kuloo game into endayiqaphelayo iBrazil was very good ke that person keeping the ball. But into eyenzeka in that game, iNetherlands come with the same strategy esifana nesabo. Badlale le ndlela abadlala ngayo, it worked for them. So at some stage imane isebenza le nto iphinde ingasebenzi because ithetha ukuthi when uzodlala kwi-game because uzoyifaka i-high tempo once upresse babe bepressa bona. As a result into yopressa yinto eseyi-installile i-Sundowns kwii-players. Now ayisoze isebenze kwenye iteam if uzomane uzoyenza one time only when you're playing Sundowns, then kophinde udlala nenye team urelax udlale a normal game. I don't think iyasebenza because le nto yepressing ye-Sundowns ayenzeki now iphinde yenzeke ngenye imini. Every time bedlala i-pressing bayiqhelile. So if uzawuza pound to pound uzodlala nabantu abayiqhelile igame enethempo ephezulu because uyaspressa ufuna ibhola and i-players of are very good on keeping the ball yabo. So zezo problems akukho easy udlala and I don't think there's ekhona iformula ucima uzayisebenzisa uthi low block. At some stage i-Sundowns kwi-low block bike-lose game last season idlala nabo Stellenbosch balinda besenza ezi mistake ifika ithatha ibhola ezaa mistakes zomvala as a back. At some stage ke le ndiyitshoyo uba enza sometimes ingasebenzi. So I don't think there's a straight formula than if uzodlala igame enje ngase uyi-install indlela kudlalwayo ngayo i-team bayiqhele because uzodlala lento kodlala ne-Sundowns come Swallows uvele utyiwe i-Swallows ngo-1-0 because awuqhelanga ukuyidlala lento uyidlala ku-Sundowns high pressing then this game awusayidlala so i-team they need to install lento because funeka abantu ba-understande i-football has changed now kufana lento abantu they are complaining ngo-Williams. I don't see any point of complaining ngo-Williams. Abantu they can go and look Europe. Ibhola has changed. Uba goalkeeper akwazi udlala, la player goalkeeper becomes an extra player to the team. So iyasebenza laa to the team. Isibe ngathi abantu odlala nabo bane-red card because une-extra man oyisebenzisayo which is the goalkeeper. That is why Pep had mentioned loo nto kwi-games asidlala ne-Inter Milan final uba it wasn't an easy game because u-Onana ubukho umbona ii-passes zakhe ziyakwazi uncedisana ne-team. So such game i-right mna andiboni any problem. But into funeka ilungiswe ngoku Alende that too casual on the ball. At some stage vele ndibona ukhe Onana angayiluza kanini ibhola because he's too casual. So yona funeka aphinde ayitshintshe ngoku uRolando. Otherwise andiboni any problem.
Okay. Chero, I want to come to you. Is this pressing thing that everybody speaks about, is it a myth that the only way to play Sundowns is to play them sitting back?
You know what? Your previous the guy was speaking just now said everything I wanted to say. Which it takes time for you to perfect the pressing because the front three will press, the midfielder must follow, the defense must follow. So it becomes a complete press. Mind you, if the front three presses and then the midfield are pressing, there's space in between. And once the Sundowns breaks the press, you cannot stop them because now you are running back. You understand? And it's difficult to defend while you're running back. So I think, and you cannot perfect this in 1 week. I think that's the mentality of the coaches. If let's say they were playing today, let's say on Sunday, and next week, Saturday, they are playing Sundowns. Basically, Monday, they are resting, so they have 3 days of training. There's no way you're going to perfect pressing or my training sessions out 3. So you might as well stick to what is easy. I believe low block is easier. We have more numbers. It's easy to manage than high press because some players will press, some won't press, and then unama gaps. That's how you get beaten by 5-0. You understand? And the Sundowns has worked for years. Ukuthi as ukudlala le system. It wasn't an overnight thing. You understand? So they know exactly what there are certain traps for you. And once you enter the trap, every player knows which way I'm supposed to be, or am I supposed to pass to. So I think the coaches are doing, I think it's a better, they're taking a better option. The only way, I see to beat Sundowns, which you must perfect your game plan. Like Sundowns doesn't adjust the game plan, but whether they're playing Al Ahly in Egypt, in Cairo, or they're playing Mazembe in DRC, they play the same style of play. And yes, they're going to lose now and then, like any other team, they're going to lose. If Sundowns loses, I can see, I've heard your speakers they were referring to game TS Galaxy and Pirates. They were excited about those games. But Sundowns is not a perfect team. They will lose. But majority of the games Mazoa win. Which gives them the league and a chance to Champions League. So yes, you're gonna, because it's a high risk game, you're gonna lose 1 or 2 games, but in the long run, you're gonna win cups. So teams, the way to beat Sundowns, we have to match Sundowns technically. We have to match them. You must know if they set you traps, because now they lose the ball here and everyone comes, they push. You need to know how to evade that press. Because that's what they do. Once they lose the ball, Ushalila is there, Allende is there, Uzwane is there. They don't care about the shape. Those first 3-4 players, they make sure they get the ball. While you're still there, while you're still thinking of ngizophasela bani, you understand? So
Okay.
technically, our players in the league or in the continent to beat Sundowns, they have to match them technically and perfect their style of play. Because Sundowns doesn't change their way of playing. They don't change it. No matter who they're playing, you'll find the very same structure, very same way of playing. You understand? So this thing is still gonna continue for me, which is Sundowns to dominate the league. And because technically their players, their technical team are better than anyone. You can make a squad of I'm a PSL team to play against Sundowns. Yes, Sundowns can lose, but technically they won't match Sundowns. Even Pirate players, technically, they won't match Sundowns players.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. Let me bring in Tatumza. Welcome, Tatumza. How are you? You just unmute there. Oh, there we go. Mara ngathi phansi mani volume yakho.
Ivolume yami phansi ne.
Nazo. There we go. That's better. How are you, Tatumza?
I'm good, but kunjani?
I always see you in the comments, man. Mina ngi-right man ingenile. Tell me, Tatumza, I'm gonna jump you straight into the deep end. This thing you're pressing Sundowns or playing low block versus Sundowns, is it a myth? Is it the only way to play Sundowns? Is it the safest way? Ngoba mina ngibona ama-team ayadliwa nje same doing that.
Mna OT in a panel. I think if you remember, there was a statement raised by coach Chipa United, Mamila, some few months ago, early this season, if it's not towards the end of the season, but he raised a statement saying, Sundowns is an easy team to play. And then they didn't understand what mean shouting na. Uthi xa ecacisa Sundowns, the only difference abanayo ne they are players ne so you see now kuthiwa players Sundowns ne are quality players and stuff. If you can check like who's this guy who's the right back Okuliso or Mayema or I would say majority of the players there. Yes, I understand ukuthi bakhona umkwena abangene beyi-quality, but majority of the players with Sundowns babuya kwi-team ebezistrugglisha kakhulu. Like zilwa oma relegation zone and stuff, or Leopards and Bloemfontein Celtics and stuff. Now, babizwa ukuthi bayi-quality. I think we are on a statement esithi and as for my ukuthi the only difference they master the system or the technique. Now, mna ndiye ndithi ke ne the only the if you want to beat Sundowns, I say 70% of the for ubeti Sundowns is on the bench, not on the field.
Okay.
Then uthetha besebaleni. So I think I believe the coaches are the one who are failing the teams so that they can beat Sundowns, not the players actually, because the thing is we're talking the same thing here. If ungasimamela, we all say Sundowns is playing the same thing or the same style of play. So when you come into the field knowing ukuthi uzodlala nalo knowing ukuthi uzodlala kanjani, what makes it difficult for you to beat the person? So it comes to the technical part of it now. I don't think it's more about the players. How do you tell your players what they must do on the field to approach the system that is played there? So I think the coaches are the ones who are failing their teams to beat Sundowns. I don't think it's more on the players because Sundowns is more technical more than any other thing. Because even that's why I need to state in day one. If you find out Sundowns is trailing by 1-0 or 2 goals down, you'll find them doing the same thing.
Mm.
They approach the game the same way they were approaching the game before they were 2-0 down, but they will score the goal. Maybe they will end up playing a draw or win it by 3-2.
Mm.
Then that thing lies mostly on the bench.
Mm.
You see.
Mm.
So that's how I see it. I don't think players are to be blamed because when you are in the field of play, sometimes you don't check more of the things like the opponent. How do they come to you?
Mm.
So I think the coaches need to pull up.
Okay.
That's how I think.
And if I can just jump in, my thoughts about this, guys. Maybe it's because I admire Abu Rulani. I don't think there's a game where Rulani will come into the game and go, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna sit back. I'm not gonna play football. I'm just gonna give in. Right? He finds a way, and that's the one side of it. It's an attitude thing that I think. But then the secondary part of it, guys, and the reason why I don't believe that low block fixes all, is that not all teams naturally play the low block when they're playing normally. And my issue then becomes, if I'm gonna today play low block versus Sundowns, when we've never played a low block all of these games up to this point, right? How am I going to do? I understand a defensive team coming in and saying that, right, guys, well, it's defensive, we're going to sit back. But far too many times you find teams that are so scared of the Sundowns that inadvertently, them changing things, they're putting their team into an uncomfortable position. They're putting their players into uncomfortable positions that they've never played. I've never played the low block. I've never played the low block any day of the PSL. But today, I'm going to try play low block for the first time or the second or the third time versus Tembazwane. What is Tembazwane going to do to me? You know? And I'm also a person who believes in coaching. You coach, guys. You coach. Do you know what I love about Rulani? What I love about Rulani more than anything else? He plays the game versus Wydad. Wydad in the final. In Pretoria. Wydad decides that, you know what, guys, Tina, we're going to press these guys high. There was a moment, guys, I don't know if you guys saw it, there was a moment on the sideline where Rulani went, just did this. He was like, hey, guys, they're pressing us high. Let's do something else. Just that, for me, distinguishes him from a lot of coaches in the PSL, most of the coaches in the PSL. Because they don't learn, they don't adapt. It's easy for people nowadays, and it comes with having a dominant team in the league. Sundowns wins most of its games out of fear. Barcelona wins most of its games when it was at the top out of fear. Spain, Man City, where teams are coming in versus these guys, and they're going, yo, mina ngiyasabu ukuthola 6-0, so I'm gonna sit back. Then a lot of teams, and I can point to games this season where you go, a lot of teams started playing their football in the second half when they had nothing to lose. And then you go, okay, guys, you see when you had nothing to lose, Amazulu, when Amazulu had nothing to lose in the second half, it was a different Amazulu. They played their football. And you saw something different. You saw Ethan Brooks is not a central defensive midfielder. And when you give him the space and time to push up, oh wow, he's actually giving them a problem. Uzbanbani, oh, you're actually an attacking player, right? So that's my thing, man. That's my thing. When we speak about Sundowns here, a lot of the times we speak about them and we go, no, they're unbeatable. They've got weaknesses. I've told you about AB, left back. When AB is playing left center back, just play balls into space because Mudiba's not going to be there. He's going to be out in the open. He gets yellow cards. Rulani even gets angry. Rulani even changes those type of things. He tweaks them because he also sees it. Umudao is always giving away fouls on the right-hand side. As Malume Kutso said, I would target one of the guys. Not to say that I need to beat you or score. I just need the ref to see me go down 5-10 times, because that's another thing Sundowns has mastered this year. They've mastered the dark arts. They know the dark arts. They know when to pull a player down. They know when to slow a game down. They know when to cover the ball. They understand all of these things. right? So I don't know. Maybe our coaches are just not thinking at that level. But in any case, Malama Kutsa, I want to ask you, when we look at this Pyramids team, number one in Egypt and all of that stuff, are we underrating Sundowns and maybe overrating what Egypt and these other countries are? Because I've watched a few games of theirs and I'm not convinced that they are at the level. Is it again a situation where when we think of Egypt, we think of the Egypt of Bo Al Ali, but we don't think that now they can be beaten. We don't think that Kaizer Chiefs can beat you with that.
So, hey, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, man. Hey. We are enjoying, but I think we are over enjoying. Yes, Pirates. Hey, that's my team, guys. Pirates can go into Egypt and come back with a 3-0 win. But at the end of the day, come final, Al Ahly beat us. You understand? Sundowns can clap Al Ahly 5-0, not just 1-1, 5. Or was it 5-2? Consecutive high scores, 5 and 4, I think. But at the end of the day, it's Al Ahly on the throne again. So it's not necessarily a matter of overestimating the Egyptians and underestimating ourselves. It's a matter of learned behavior. We know, we've seen these trends before. Yes, right now there's comfort coming from the AFL, but at the same time, I know everyone is still cautious with ish. Can the snake rise in the final again and just beat us, not knowing which ganshan? You understand? Even Chiefs, yes. In a way, the Chiefs run is different from everyone. I think it's different from everyone. The Chiefs win because Chiefs wasn't as enterprising as the two when they went to the final. I think that's the most distinct kind of journey to a final. So I won't count them as much. But we've seen South African teams go out and perform very well, but have nothing to show for it. And I think Sundowns has been good for maybe 10 years in Africa, and they still have one Champions League, which they got from Upito Musiman. And we keep saying Sundowns is different. This is a different Sundowns. Maybe they want to do something else. Guys, Sundowns has already won the Champions League. Sundowns has already won the Champions League playing football. It dominated 5-0 from Pito Musiman. Yes, we love Rulane, but let's not disrespect one legend because we try to glorify another one. You understand? And just to answer Williams, yes, we beat Al Ahly in Egypt through Abu Chal and Abu Nchumayelo 3-0, if not 4-0, I think. We beat CS Faxien from 3 or 4-2 in Sfaxien in Tunisia. But at the end of the day, did we have the title? No, it's some funny funny team from the north that comes up with the win. It's your what team was that? Two teams that I've seen that beat us that I don't see anymore. So that football level, and as much as it's boring, Mr. OT, we've seen it over. It's been boring for the longest time, even at the international level. Abu Trika, he's great. I think he's one of a kind. But since we Igbo, even at national level, they are boring. And when it comes to Bafana, you listen to any commentator, he says you will see the flair of South African football. So it's in a vele South Africans who've been playing Limnand. You understand? But our results are a whole different story. So I would love to see us go and win. But at the same time, guys, I just want to remind everyone, Coach Pitts was playing a long ball when it was necessary. So have Sundowns taken the long route to come back to the same route? How are we? I mean, I'm asking you directly. How are we glorifying that someone is saying, let's play the ball over the top? He sat there for years with someone who was playing the ball over the top from the start.
No, it's not that. It's not that, Maluma Kutsa. I'm talking about adapting. Okay.
My question is, he sat there, and I love Coach Rani, trust me, but he sat there and watched Coach Pito use the long ball for years and also use intricate passing. And he shows intricate passing, and then suddenly he saw with Esan, let's play over the top. And then started getting results. he took the long route to the shortest destination, to the nearest destination. You understand? So we can't really say Sundowns are adapting. They've been adapting. At some point, they're gonna come back and have and just have a right back bombing down the right. And you're gonna be like, oh, he's moved away from it. Now he can see that in Africa, all you need to have is a right back going down, do the simple stuff and come back. Come on, guys.
No,
That's
no,
not
Marakuts, I think you're taking it wrong. I'm saying it in the case of whenever we've watched matches, what is the one thing we complain about in the PSL? More than anything else. It's that our coaches will see something on the pitch, you'll see something, I'll see something. Everybody in the comments will be saying that we're seeing this thing, but the coach will never do it. I'm giving Rulani credit for being one of the few coaches in the PSL that when something is going wrong, it's not about him knowing about this or going the long route. It's about, I have all these tricks in my bag. I have licenses, I have all that stuff. But every match we watch of the PSL, most of the time, they play one way. And even when they see that that thing is going wrong, in the moment to go to something that works. So I'm giving Rulani credit for, okay, we were playing this way up until we got to the final. We then came out and they played differently. They decided, in Pretoria, we're going to press you guys. And the adapting I'm talking about is in match to go, oh, okay, guys, not wait for halftime, not wait for the 65th minute or 70th minute. I give him credit for that because honestly, we don't see that much in our everyday watching of football. I complain about Abunteki all the time. I complain about Calvin Johnson. We complained about Steve the other day, who kept doing the same thing even though it hurt his team. You get what I mean? So for me, I'm like, I give him credit for in that moment when he saw something. Not many coaches make changes. Not many coaches, or at least the coaches we're exposed to here, not many of them do that. So I think that deserves credit. The fact that he thought to himself, Yazini, khona le long polega pizzo man bengibukela. And ngathi ngaspana in this match, even though we came out in the match with a different attitude. Now we're seeing, I'm man, 15 minutes, Lavanto are doing this. I tell my players live 15 minutes in, guys, go over. You get what I mean? That's what I mean. I'm not giving him credit for going back and changing things. I'm just giving him credit for we don't see that much. PSL, a change of tactics in the middle of the game, never.
But Mr. Witty, if I'm tasked to disagree with you, I would point out the fact that in that instance, he was not changing tactics. He was emphasizing his pre-game instructions. And where do I get that? There are two players who can only play that game. And in that game, they were on the pitch. It's Ungu, no Masego. So all he was
I guess it's because they were missing. They didn't have the striker. Who they didn't have Rivero, was it, or somebody? Anyway.
So all he was saying was, guys, I gave an instruction pre-game. We don't have the most technically gifted players right now. Let's play the ball to them, as I had told you. Because I remember that, I think it was in the first half of the first leg, we were like, guys, over the top, or in the second half of the first leg, say, over the top. Come on, I told you this. I mean...
But they weren't playing that in the first 10 minutes. They were playing the ball on the ground and getting caught out. That's what I'm trying to say. We saw them play a different football. And then when it was pressing time, they went, okay, go over. And okay, you can say he reminded them, but they weren't playing that football up to that point.
Am I audible?
You're audible.
Okay. Mina, I watched that game, right? Maybe differently to say, maybe Urlani was at a point where you guys, we've got two players who are of the lowest quality in this team. And it will go back to Gavin Hanfield and what I also raised that the quality of play is very important in how they take instructions. With some players, you don't have to coach. You give them instructions, and sometimes, luckily, your instructions align with their natural ability. You give Alende an instruction box to box, that's just him. You give Ujadi an instruction to play box to box, that is just him. But then you give Unku an instruction to play Ama 1-2. He can't. He's a down the line guy, and Kai chanting vele, Umaseko down the line, how train as we call them, and then also Shine now. So in that game, there was no Salibili, there was no Ribeiro. All I can guarantee you right now, from the start, he said, Buffett, I plug. And where do I get that? Every time Sundowns set up a low block,
Yeah.
the player they introduce in attack is Umaseko. Alternatively, a player they introduce in attack, but it doesn't work as well as it would with
Mara
Umaseko.
Uto, okay, Malume Kuzo. Let me put it like this. Let me put it like this. Mabuti Kanyeza came out this weekend and he complained that his players were basically not doing what he wanted them to do, right? So, whether it was the instruction or not the instruction, they were playing a certain way, ne? And they kept getting caught out by Wydad. And then, whether it's reminding them or not, they changed how they had played to that point, is what I'm trying to say. Whether it was the previous thing, whether Nku and Masego were the people who were meant to do what you're saying, Oksalayo, up to that point, they weren't doing that. That's what I'm saying, that they weren't. They were trying to play out from the back. Wydad was catching them. And then at that point, he was like, all right, guys, let's play it over. Now, I bring it back to PSL. Mabuti Kanyeza waits until the end of the match in a press conference to then say, no, the boys were not doing what I told them. You get what I mean? Steve gave up the ball 8 times in our game, 9 times in our game, including conceding Boma number 6, the 6th time they conceded, right? Carried on doing it until after the game came out and he said everything that he said, but he didn't in the moment adapt. So I'm giving Rulani that credit that, okay, fine, you see your players are not doing what you said they must do. They're getting caught out. I am going to tell them mid-game that do this. I will make substitutions at 40 minutes in order to change what I've seen. I will move AB. Remember, I was the one saying what AB Kimbobo, right? And the other team didn't notice it. Before the other team could notice it, he moves him out wide, he takes him out. So that, for me, that awareness, good guys, every time. Let me move him to the wing. We don't see that in the PSL. And maybe it's a bare minimum for coaches, but yeah, a lot of our coaches don't have that.
Fair, but unfair on Coach Maputi, because actually in his press conference, he does say, I gave instructions. So maybe he tried to adapt. But the player, because the player is of low quality, the player just doesn't take instruction.
Let him keep. You can't then lose the game 6 matches in a row and then say to me, it's the player. That's Rulani again. AB was having a tough time versus Dupree. Do you know what he did? Instead of going, guys, we could lose this, he took him out. AB from Morocco, whatever. He took him out. That's what I'm trying to say. It's 6 games that Mabuti Kanyeza has lost with these players. 6, 7. In a row. No, but in a row. That's what I'm saying. He keeps saying the same thing. I think he said this maybe 2-3 times. And he's lost. He's on a losing streak, 6 matches. But then still, are you going to carry on pointing at the player? Or are you going to go, boy, here's the things. You get what I mean?
No, Mr. Witty, you're not understanding me. And I think someone just spoke about the luxury of depth. Mr. Oti, in some teams, the worst player, the best player is like a 69 on FIFA. And if you sub him, the next player is horrible.
Yes.
In terms of your comprehension and my instruction. That's what I'm saying. Let's stick to Sundowns. Let's leave Golden Arrows for a minute.
No. I wanted to show you that. That's all I was saying.
I'm on that point. Just to make this point, let's stick to Sundowns and let's leave Golden Arrows alone. To make the point that to oppose the point that you've just...
Okay, Jose. Let's go to Jose. What did we complain about weeks on weeks? He's got quality. Okay.
You have a final versus Wydad Casablanca. Some player, actually, the one who answer my 4, if not 3, if not 2. He doesn't bury the chances. And that's Unku. And that comes down to equality. Fast forward, Rudan is like, yazin la. Then Abayama tactical, but I actually do have quality, and I'd rather have a half-fit Rivero or a half-fit Champi. That's what they do. They come in Kashama quick. Sometimes it's not only the instruction, Mr. Oti, it's the quality of the player. Can the player actually execute? Can, even if okamufa instruction ware boy, mosuala uliyamthatha ulufaka kanje, you run into the space. Some players, just like in class, they just can't execute that. Abakuzwa unku almost cost his Sundowns that AFL. He went
I
there,
hear you.
his chances, but when an injured Shalulile and injured Ribeiro came in, an injured Shalu and an injured Ribeiro could implement our instructions of coach perfectly. They needed one chance. So unlike the Sundowns where they can field an injured Ribeiro, Unku, Tembazwane, Tapelo Morena, Bule, Mukwena, Alende, then it comes to Meta Witsi, Gu Amazulu, King, Gu Golden Arrows, the best they have.
Yeah.
It's even below an Unku.
And then
below a Maseko. So when you try as a coach to come up with something creative and something new, it just doesn't fly.
But this is why I used the Golden Arrows. Golden Arrows with the same players were first, second for most of the start. So now, if those players all of a sudden can't take your instruction, especially after another coach has left, do I still blame the guys? One. And then number two, what do I always say on this show? You can cry and cry and cry about quality. You can cry, but you've got 30 players. You've got 30 players. It's time to coach. So instead of crying about, oh, this one is the 60, is a 60 who's playing like a 36, let me find the 45 and make it work. You get what I mean? Because those games that he lost weren't all versus Sundowns, weren't all versus big teams. Now, my big point is, even Jose, who has quality, struggles. Our Chiefs have had good players struggle with this. What I'm saying now, including our Golden Arrows, with a team that was doing very well. They were very well in the beginning of the season. They lost to Sundowns, but they were number 2. So now I look at Coach Mabuti and I say, Mabuti, uhambile ucoach Kanu. Ne? Uhambile. You've got the same crop of players. They're not playing. Now you are on a 6-match losing streak, and you're still persisting with those players that you're complaining about. Usadliwa. So I'd much rather you go, you know what, guys, I'm going to come back to the drawing board, Mangse Chimin. I'll look at my squad and I'll say, okay, Kutso's not playing well right now and he's my star. I need to find a way to make sure that the other guys come in and they can play. Same as with Steve. Okay, Steve wants to play the ball out from the back. These guys are showing you they can't play the ball out from the back. You know what? Let's go to something they understand, or a tactic that I know works for them. Akpay does this. You get what I mean? But my problem with our coaches more than anything is it's easy to just say, it's quality. You 30 players, you've had pre-seasons, you've done all these things with these players. Then here comes a problem, and you can't solve that problem. And yes, quality does play into it, but there's a lot of quality coaches that can't make an adaptive change during the thing. You get what I mean? Gavin Hunt doesn't come out and complain and say, I have to come out with 16-year-olds. Okay, he does complain, but during the match, do you know what he does? Hi guys, Ngenani, we're going to go to 3rd place without getting any money or signing anyone. You get what I mean? So that's why I'm like, hi guys, Mina, I look at my coaches and I go, if the bare minimum is I saw something wrong and I need to fix it in game in order not to lose this game, and you don't do it, then Rulani is incredible because he's shown so many times where he's gone, it Chiefs in Shah 1-0. I need a goal. We're swapping everything. It says Galaxy is leading 2-0 versus me. You know what? Screw the plan. I've got another plan. Let me bring in these players and do this. Why, Dad? We came out, we've been playing at the back, they're pressing me, they're winning the ball. You know what, guys? In game, let's do this. Whether it was a pre-match instruction, whether it wasn't, the situation presented itself and he fixed it right there. That's what I'm saying. That Umabuti Kanyeza, with all the time he spends with these players, he should be able to go, Yazin, I may not have Kuto right now, who's my star, and he's not doing well. It's him keep Kuto, because I know that Agent comes in and he can play defensive mid. So Masi Jig, City 2 holding, City 110 instead of 1 holding and 2. Let's do that because I know that agent is going to give me a 45 because Kuto's giving me a 40 right now. You get what I mean? That's what I mean. That's why I'm like, our coaches don't coach anymore.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I understand what you mean. I fully concur, but I feel like these coaches actually do that. And we somehow kind of again overprotecting these players. And I'll use the very same team.
Take them out, Balu. That's what I'm saying. Take them out. At least some keep.
I'll use the example, the prime example, and say Sundowns almost lost the final because of players like Abunku, because of the player of the tournament could not execute instructions. And the fact that...
And he changed them. That's my point.
The fact that the coach we are praising decided to say, you know what, I'm not going to try and be a magician here. I'm going to bring injured players to come play.
Exactly.
Other teams don't have that luxury, Mr. OT. That's what you're not getting. The fact that...
No, Marakuso, what are you saying now? Nku was the 7. Nku is an 80 who's playing like a 50. I'd much rather bring in a Shalulile who's a 90, but he's the 60. Let's do that. So I'm saying instead of losing 6 games in a row, rather go, okay, I don't have the quality, but let's figure out how to bring that guy in who maybe is not at 60, but he'll play at a 45. That's what I was saying. That, okay, he's a 45 here. This guy is giving me 30 right now, but I'm keeping on the pitch because I know that he's the 60. Ungizisile 6 games in a row. But I'm going to carry on doing the same thing. Even though you could maybe change and tweak your formation even. And go, hi guys, Malume Kutz, I'm not asking you to be Temba Zwane. I'm asking you to stand at the base of our defense so that they have another person that nobody can get, well, somebody has to think about before getting past. I don't need you to do expensive, crazy things. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nah, Mr. OT.
It's a team. Malume Kutz, that's a team, though.
You're not listening to me, Mr. OT. You're not listening to me. I just want to protect Coach Maputi on this one. The fact that he was frustrated. The fact that Uriveiro came out and said, some players are only good on paper. It was a frustration which I gave you instructions and you don't execute.
But you don't have another team, Malume Kutz. You can't cry. You're losing. You can't sit there and cry. I don't want to hear coaches crying in the middle of the season. That's my thing. Because you can't change it. Your team is your team, guys.
Then we're not being realistic, Mr. OT.
Guys.
Mr. OT, every team at the top, give me any league, has money to splash. It's not only about the tactics. And if there's any team that has snuck its way up to the top, if there's any team that has snuck its way up to the top and won the league, I can guarantee you now, 10 years later, they either bankrupt or relegated. I can give you Blackburn, I can give you Leicester, all of those teams, I can give you Deportivo La Coruña.
But in that year that Leicester won, I don't even care about the rest of the future. I'm not talking about the future. Claudio Ranieri knew that he didn't have stars.
That's my point.
Claudio Ranieri didn't have stars. He made it work.
Mr. Otipachi, don't give me a chance.
Can I ask you something?
You can't ask me. I'm still making a point. Wait. I'm still making a point here. You can't ask me anything.
Don't fight. I just thought just
anyway,
don't fight.
As I was saying, Mr. OT, give me any team that has managed to come up with ways to win the league. That's not the resource. And I can guarantee you now, they've been relegated. Not only which they bankrupt, they've been relegated. Blackburn is gone. Leicester is gone.
Same coaches, is Ranieri coaching them?
Who?
Did Claudio Ranieri relegate them?
No. Actually, he almost did. But anyway, the first season, he did very well. And by first season, I'm talking about the league match. He did very well, was lucky to find Abongolo Kante, Riyad Mahrez at a low price. But once you establish yourself there and you do well, they come in and they poach your players, right? That's what small teams face. They don't have the luxury to go back and say, okay, Mahrez is gone. Let's see what can we do. No, it doesn't work that way, Mr.
I don't want him to win the league, Malume Kutz. Can he not be the Brighton of the PSL?
I didn't get that, Mr. Oti.
Can he not be the Brighton of the PSL? Can he not be the Super Sport? He is Super Sport. There's the prime example.
Super Sport is moneyed, Mr. Uti. That's my teacher.
He's playing 16-year-olds. He's playing 17-year-olds. He complains every day about money.
But they paying Chugamanja and Bradley Grobler, guys. Those aren't small pockets.
You telling me Golden Arrows can't pay 2 players like that? 2.
And it's not 2 players. They're paying Tyson Hlachwayo at Super Sport.
You telling me that Golden Arrows can't do that if they wanted to?
I can give you my 10 players at Super Sport that are big profile. Don't be duped by his complaints. There's Sianda Kulu there.
But then who's starting? Ime Okon, he's losing players every year. Masego leaves. Other players leave every year.
There's Precision Glove.
There's
Magaman there. Those are the Super Sport guys. But all I'm saying is, we can't be harsh on some coaches who don't have quality. Super Sport is like Pirates, actually. And as much as they are a bit lower in terms of budget and maneuvering, but the budget there is very heavy.
I disagree.
I can give you 10 players.
Okay, 6 games losses, Kuto, in a row. 6 lost games in a row. Going to 7. I think that was the weekend 7.
See, that's why I didn't want to make it about Golden Arrows.
No, it's the point that I was trying to show you. Mabuti is one of the coaches, and I said, in the PSL, most of the coaches can't coach past the first 11. That's what most coaches can't coach past the plan A for a match.
Because the goalposts are continuously moving. Sometimes Pirates will be a player that is adapting very well. Sometimes Super Sport, and I thought it's the entire PSL. Sometimes Chiefs will be adapting well. So I don't know.
In what way? No, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I think right now, we also giving credit to Gavin Hunt, which is great. I agree. But, Mr. Oti, let's be fair to some coaches. If you don't have resources, Mr. Oti, you can coach until you have gray hair. We've seen Brendan Rodgers struggle, and Brendan Rodgers is among the greats. We've seen Kanake Mankrutmane, who won with Liverpool. We've seen who's that man? Rafael Benitez struggle because of lack of great players, good players, quality players.
And I hear you.
Jose Mourinho at.
But we've seen Moyes. We've seen Mancini at West Ham. We've seen other coaches that don't have resources. I'm not asking Mabuti to win the league. I'm not asking him to win the league.
Sometimes it's not, but I get
you. Let me hear agent.
Sorry. Now my only problem is, right? Okay, fine, sharp, do whatever you're doing, it's fine. My concern with PSL coaches is, can they improve players? Can we see that they are coaching? Because my frustration is you are seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And some of these things are coachable things, like watching your man behind you, like making a simple pass, like what are the drills for, And maybe let's not talk about Arrows, let's talk about Chiefs. How many players go to Chiefs and improve?
Yes.
How many? And even if anything, they digress and they make more mistakes. And mistakes are not a thing of you are technically gifted or this. It's simple things you can be coached out of a player. That's my concern. And I can say the same thing because you're gonna disagree with Kuto, but I look at Pirates. I'm like, okay, fine. Just say, sure, good. You're a good coach. You're a good one. But have you improved players like Omar Kopa? Like, have you gotten time to speak to Osaling and say, okay, fine, my guy, you're good at speed, but if you don't have space, this is what you should do. This is for me where coaching comes in. Coaching for me is all about improving players, and PSL coaches don't improve players. If anything, if they see that you're good at this, there it is. They're done. They don't find you a way of improving you. That's my only problem with PSL coaches.
Has Mabuo been improved? Has Mabuo been improved? Has Uterok been improved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Umutau.
No. Don't go to the
Umkulise. Okay, fine. Okay, look at Umkulise. Let's look at Umkulise. Can we get Umkulise?
I want you to say with Russian Teruk, who was a Bafana International, who was the almost defender of the season, if I recall properly, has been improved by Sundowns, who is currently on the bench forever. If you can say that, then I'll understand. Has he been improved?
Yes, because now he's a versatile player. He's not just a defender, he goes into midfield. And I think you are looking at a wrong example. Look at Umvala.
He's been like that.
Umvala has improved. Let's go from Umvala, the simplest one for me. Look
But
at
Teruk,
Umvala.
no. Let's stick to Teruk a bit. Teruk has been
Okay.
a ball player from day one.
He was a ball player, right? It's the same thing. Look at this. It's the same thing with Williams, right? Williams comes from Supersport, right? He's already been coached.
I
Yeah.
agree. Williams, Mutau, top notch, perfect,
Okay, sharp.
beautiful.
Okay, cool.
I just want to know about Teruk.
Do you know what the problem is with you generally? Is there is a difference between taking a player from a 1 to a 10 and taking a player from a 10 to 15. It is still an improvement. Relative, you may say it is small or anything, but you can't tell me Uduruk has not improved ever since he's at Sundowns. You cannot tell me that because I see the growth in him. I see the versatility in him, you know? And look at today. Just look at today. Today, there was a system where the two center backs are tagging into the midfield and building with the two fullbacks. You know, you need technical awareness because in the midfield is very crowded. You know, you can be comfortable on the ball as a defender, sure, but there's no one behind you, there's no one on the sides, and there's no one, there's only one person in front of you, But in the midfield, there's traffic there, and yet we throw in players there who have the full sense of a midfielder, So this is what I'm talking about with Uduruk, that Uduruk has improved as a player, as a ball carrying player, he has improved.
You know what, for me, that's not even I don't even want to speak about the improvement. My issue with PSL coaches is we sit with a situation where 15 games in, he's still learning his team. 5 losses in. No, but le 4-4-2 bengidlala last time years osebenza la. 6 games losses in. No, you know what? I can't take out that player because he's quality and I can't bring on this player. Then you sit down and you watch. Guys, let's be honest. How many times have we literally watched games, watch-alongs here, where we've said, no, but guys, Lentobayenza here is wrong. What they're doing over there doesn't make sense. They've been caught out 6-7 times. Coach Steve in the Chiefs match, I remember we were all watching. 7 times, 8 times in the game, he got caught out. 8 times he got caught out doing the exact same thing. And in my head, I'm going, is it Coach Steve who is comfortable enough with being whatever number Swallows is, comfortable enough in not having to go get trophies, comfortable enough to go stare at his chairman and say, guys, we lost the 5 games, who cares, right? Is that the issue? Because for me, if you really want to win something and you really want to do well, guys, they're with these players day in, day out. You've got a squad of 30. You've got a bench of 9. Can
I chip in there? Can I chip in there and say, I think what we should be asking is, do PSL coaches, let's take out maybe, Urulani and maybe Jose to an extent and Gavin Hunt, obviously. But do PSL coaches have the ability to solve problems, And I'm not just talking about in-game problems. Even outside the game, you guys are doing the same thing and over again. You guys are saying, look at Kanti. We know Chiefs will always be beaten by the ball behind, always.
Far post.
Ask yourself, what far post, why aren't you guys solving it at training? Why? So my problem with PSL coaches is that they aren't problem solvers. It's just that they have a manual that 65th minute brings substitutions to refresh legs. I think that's the only problem they know how to solve, refreshing legs. But tactical wise, they don't know how to maneuver. Golden arrows. You can't tell me, okay, fine. Let's say for some weird reason, the players are not listening to him. Sharp, I give you that. I can give you that for 1 game, 2 games at most. 3 games, nah. The fall has to be on you.
4, 5, 6.
What are you doing to correct that as a coach? What are you doing? Because clearly the system is not working at Arrows. You can't insist on playing it. With Steve, maybe you can say, okay, fine, he's trying to implement a system. But when you have a system which works, you go to another one, it does not working. Why can't you revert to the other one, or maybe look for a different solution? They aren't problem solvers for me.
Or at some point, agent, at some point, I have lost 5-6 games. This is my thing. At some point on a 5-6 game losing streak, at what point do you say as the coach, this is not working in its current point? I may not trust you. I may not trust Malume Kutso will listen to me when he gets onto this pitch. I may not trust it. But what I do know and what data I'm getting back is that when you're on that pitch, you have lost 6 games. So how much is that star player a star player or a quality player after 6 games of losing? And then when the coaches sit down on Monday morning on loss number 6, the day after loss number 6, and you're looking at the game and you're assessing your problems and your strengths and your weaknesses and what happened, at what point do you then go, Yazin, agent, you may not be somebody that I want to put on this game right now, but I'm going to work with you for the next 5 games. Because the other thing I said was that the other PSL coaches are some of the best, other PSL teams are some of the most well-rested teams that have the most time to do a lot of things, right? That's my thing. And my problem is that it feels like it's not a coaching thing, it's an attitude problem. It's an attitude problem. I know nothing is expected from me. So when I go look at my chairman in the eyes after going on a losing streak, not just Mabuti, when I go look at my chairman, I know no one's gonna fire me. No one's gonna get rid of me. I can carry on doing these things. That's why I'm like, with Rulani, I give him credit that with whatever good that he has and the quality and all that, he's also under pressure. And how he is adapting to this pressure is going, guys, I can't lose a match. So when we see something, I will change something to win the match. He could easily be sitting there and going, guys, Sundowns is the top team. Sundowns has been the top team. He could literally just sit there and go, guys, these guys will do whatever work they'll do. Right? So me, the person who doesn't have at the bottom of the log, not the bottom of the log, mid-table, lower mid, and you're sitting doing the same exact things. Yes, I question the coaching. I do. And I'm honestly, maybe I'm old school in that way, but in my mind, coaches coach. So you have to solve problems. And you can't sign. Whoa, Kumalume, you can't sign. Golden Arrows will never be able to get the quality that Sundowns has, that Pirates has, that Supersport has, let's say. Right? They'll never be. So do you resign your fact to going, no, you know what, because we don't have it, no mas ngaluza 6. I'll do what I do. Knox Mutizwa was on the bench. At no point did Mabuti Kanyeza say, you know what, Yazin, you think Fagu Knox, Begakora, beginning of the season. He's one of my quality guys. Let's try him. You know what? There's another guy on the bench who's doing this. Let me try him. Let me do this. Something to stop this. But he comes out and does what? The players, they don't listen to me. Okay.
Yeah, I think for me is a case of coaches also being naive. There's a difference between coach given a hand and newcomers. With coach given a hand, he can get away with a lot of things because he has a wealth of experience. He's in the same bracket as Coach Pizzo. They can get away with a lot of things. But as an up and coming coach, you must evolve. Like I think I shared this on the group where he was just being naive. Like, know what? I don't believe in what science. And you ask yourself, how many other things does he believe in? And he's a modern new coach who should be evolving with times, because then you look at it and say, okay, fine. Golden Arrows at one point, they were number 1, right? Now they are going down. Is it not affecting the psyche of players? Is it not something that you need help with? So sometimes you got to evolve as a coach, and maybe sometimes this is why maybe PSL is saying you need to have cafe or something, because coaching with your experience that I was a player, this is how I should work, it doesn't always work that way, and that's my problem with PSL coaches. They're very naive on a lot of things. Very naive. So the same way Steve is naive with the quality of players that he has and the ball that he wants to play. They are a mixed match, you know. We know Akpay. Is it Akpay? Who is it Solos, right? We know
Yeah,
Akpay
long
from
balls.
from Kaizer Chiefs. He's not comfortable on the feet, and yet you wanna play from the back with such kind of keeper, you know. So sometimes you're being naive as a coach, you know, and they have to address that for me.
These are shaky waters, but I understand. Sometimes you try and improve a player by introducing a new philosophy. You are called naive because, wow, he only plays long balls. But when you don't, you are told you don't. But yeah,
I'm fine with it. I don't mind the philosophy. I mind
this
8
is shaky
times.
ground, honestly. It's like the goalpost keeps on moving, gents. Let's be honest. Jose Mourinho, if I remember him well, I might be quoting him incorrectly. It takes time. When he quoted why Pep was doing well, he counted that certain players, quality players, had been with the team for so long and had gelled and had introduced and had influenced the team with how they play. We can't just an hour ago, we were talking about how you can't just say press all of a sudden. You can't just say play a low block all of a sudden. Just now on this live, we were all agreeing on that. And changing a philosophy might take time. And to be honest with you, since the topic is golden arrows, I haven't watched golden arrows as much. So what I did just now as Kuluma, I just went to check Uti. Has he been consistently fielding the same team across his losses? Actually, Unoxim Tizo was playing. He was benched recently because I guess they're losing. Because he could see with let me try and change. But like I said, unfortunately, Mr. OT, in as much as we want to romanticize it, in as
No,
much
man,
as
you don't get me.
in as much as we want to romanticize it, we want to look past it and say it doesn't matter. Mr. OT, great players matter. I've seen Real Madrid.
Can I ask you something,
I don't
Coach?
want you to be Real Madrid, Kuzo. I'm not asking him to be Real Madrid. I'm not. I'm asking him to be Brighton. I'm not asking. I'm not asking him to be Barcelona.
I'm not saying you can be Real Madrid. The point I was making was I've seen Real Madrid play without tactics, but benefit from having superstars only. Lama player kabangala. Lama player playing.
But you don't have that. So when you don't have that, what do you do? That's my thing.
I think we should get to this with Kuto. What I'm dealing with Kuto is this, right? This is where I think there is an overlap between me and him, right? That for you to win the league, you cannot win the league by tactics alone. You need good players, right? But to compete, not even competing for the league, but to be a decent side, to be a consistent side, you know, I think coaching can achieve that, you know. Hence, we say Steve Compella is a mid-table coach, stability coach, because with his coaching, he doesn't good players, he's gonna give you a top 8 finish, you know. So for me, yes, to get to the next level, you need good players, granted, right? But with the ones that we have, what are you doing to improve them, you know? And I'm not shifting goalposts with Oakbay. Okay, Sharp, Oakbay is not good on the ball. Can you improve him as a coach? You know, he's not improving. Look at David De Gea. They tried, man, the whole season. I'm not saying Onana is better. I'm just saying in terms of playing from the back. We saw my David De Gea, he was tried. It was like, nope, it's not working. Then you bring in someone, you know? So it's not always about you can coach a player of something. I think to a certain extent, maybe to be fair to Jose, I think maybe he has tried to find a solution for Saling to somehow play in a low block team, but he couldn't. It's like this thing's not working with Saling. I'm putting him on the bench. You know, but sometimes with a coach, yes, you can have tactics, you can coach him, but sometimes when you see that it's not working, or you can't find a solution, sometimes you change something, change system, change something, personnel, you know? So yeah.
But my thing, agent, me is very simple. Mine is so simple. It's so simple. You are losing matches. I am installing a philosophy. in any other team, when I'm installing a philosophy and I go on a certain run of matches, my job is on the line. You get what I mean?
Yes.
Then you revert. Steve Compella, I want my players to play out from the back. We're now game 13 of the league. I've seen my team lose the ball 5 times, and we're about to lose this game, right? And that's another 3 points maybe that we've sacrificed that we needed. You get what I mean? In that moment, I expect my coach to go, this thing is not working and it's putting us in danger. The problem with the PSL coaches is that there's none of that. And then when they wake up, Sundowns is 16 points ahead of number 2 and they're winning the league. You get what I mean? And now we've made excuses for Jose all the way down to Mabuti, all the way down to whoever's last. You get what I mean? Remember when we were asking about Jose? Remember when I asked about Jose and I was like, guys, can we question Jose? Because Jose seems to have all the quality. He's in his second year. He's coached this team now. It's his second year coaching this team. They need to take the next step. And next step doesn't mean you win the league. Maybe next step means from 16 points we go to 10. And maybe he might do it. I don't know. Next step is let's qualify for the Champions League. I didn't do it. It didn't happen. We gave excuses. And we keep giving excuses for every single coach down the line in the PSL, right? I've said here before that there's also levels. So there's a level where I am an Arsenal who finishes 4th or 5th, pre-Arteta, but I finish 4th or 5th consistently. That is me. You can't compare me to Southampton. You get me? But in the PSL, it feels as though what we've done is we've gone, any team that is not Sundowns, they've got reasons. You get what I mean? That's why I get angry, because all I hear now is coaches coming out and they, I don't have this. Oh, this one has money. Okay, I don't need you. I always say here, you play Sundowns twice in the league. But you find Golden Arrows plays a good game versus Sundowns. They're losing versus Richards Bay the next day. Our league is up and down. Anybody can beat anybody. And all I'm asking for is if a coach is on a six game losing streak, 6 games. And I say, yo, guys, 6 games is bad. Fam, you need to do something. And then people go, no, he doesn't have quality as a new coach. Then if Golden Arrows at number 7, who was number 1 at some point, is having those problems, then I can't question anybody. I can't question anybody past Cape Town City. From number 6 down, I mustn't say anything. Guys, come on, guys. I'm sorry. And maybe it's a small thing that I'm making a big thing in terms of Urulani, but the fact that Urulani consistently in all the matches we've watched, if something is going wrong, he changes it. We've sat here live after live after live saying the same thing. What's his name? Parker. Remember what I said about Parker outside of the stuff about him being there for a long time? I said Parker is incredible because when he played Pirates, he said, we knew we couldn't play them on quality, but I watched those games that they were playing in Spain and they play like this. So when they came to us, I knew that we were only going to get 1 or 2 chances, but we're going to play a low block and let Reyners and Van Beek go. You hear him speak and it's like, oh yeah, he actually came with a plan. He can't go quality for quality with those guys, but he's got 2 wins versus them. You know what I mean? That's what I'm asking. Is it too much to ask for PSL coaches to just, guys, you have a team of 30. You don't have to have super quality all over the pitch in order to just be consistent. And we don't have that. Number 2 this year's Pirates. The previous year, Amazulu was number 2 at some time. Royal AM was number 2 the other year. Hey, Sachinchisana, the 15 teams below. But guys, you're telling me that we can't have a team that, you guys are telling me that 6 losses is okay. And you must just accept because quality. It's the same as when teams say, we're going to play Sundowns. Oh, Sundowns is so good. I don't have a plan. I'm just going to sit back and hope that nothing happens. Come on, guys. Guys, these people are coaches that coach every single day. Agent, every single day they coach. Every single day. No one knows those players better than those coaches, and they should be able to go to plan B, C, D, whatever you need to do to win that game. But few of them do. They complain at the end. Sundowns was doing this to us for 80 minutes. For 80 minutes, you watched them do that, and the only change you made was 65 minutes to save legs, as you said, Agent. That's my problem with the PSL. How many times, agent, have you spoken about you have five subs? How many coaches in the PSL have fundamentally changed the way the team plays? And now I'm zooming out from Mabuti. I'm looking at Kevin, I'm looking at Chiefs, I'm looking at down to Caetano. How many coaches have made 5 changes that have fundamentally changed how they play, the team is playing in order to go win a game or exploit a weakness? There isn't. We watch the games. I don't watch all the games, but all the games we watch, yeah, fun. That's my problem.
See, for me, on this topic is Urulani admittedly can say, guys, I got statistics today wrong, and I shouldn't have done this. Sometimes you look at and I think I said this on my at my time that Urulani, you can't beat him twice with the same thing. Never. He finds a way. So I think PSL coaches have to step that game up and find solutions. You can't always be crying that something is not working, this. It's your job. You are being paid to solve a problem, Hence, we used to ask with the question taking. Okay, question taking. Question taking, you spend the whole week with these players, but you guys look so disjointed. Are you guys doing drills there? What are you guys doing there? At the village, And you look at Coach Kevin Johnson. Yes, the team is not convincing, but you can see, okay, he's trying to do something, and there's something that he's trying to do. I can't fault him for that. So I think for me, coaches have to do more. I don't know if you should say they should do more drills, they should do more training, because I can bet you Chiefs next time it plays on the 3rd, we're gonna be asking questions like, bruh, you spent 2 weeks with these players, but you can see improvement, you're not seeing patterns, So I think coaches should improve on that for me. Yeah, cheers, man.
Hey, but we're also a country where Ngezana Kihomu, but is about to go to League One as well. So anyway, Malume Kuza, I'm gonna give you the final word there.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was rather difficult because at some point we're talking about winning the league, and then next we divert to staying kind of game within the top 6 and top 8.
Me, I never said winning the league, but yeah.
The goalposts are moving. No, you spoke about challenging Sundowns, which is
No.
tantamount to winning the league.
Pirates.
So,
Pirates.
No,
I said Pirates
exactly.
must
So-
get closer. I didn't even say challenge. I said close the gap from 16 points to 10. That's what I said. I don't want them to win the league.
That is exactly what I was about to say. It's like it's just tantamount to winning the league to say challenge Sundowns. Get closer, challenge Sundowns.
Yes.
So it becomes difficult to respond to that and then be hit with a 6-game Mabuti. Mabuti is really, guys, like I did say Golden Arrows is not my favorite. Anyone who's been on this live knows how I feel about Golden Arrows. Which they play horrible football. And I would say they should improve. But I noticed I only watched 2 games. I watched the game against Sundowns, I watched the game against Pirates. So I don't know what happens in the middle. But if you're gonna criticize a team like Pirates, that's fair game. There's enough quality. Yabona Lapo, there's enough quality. The paycheck is big. There's enough room to maneuver. If you don't have Mufukeng, you've got Lodge. If you don't have Lodge, you've got Queen. If you don't have Queen, you've got Saleng. Lapo, me, I'm with you. Pirates should be doing better. But if we're talking about can I give them Golden Arrows, Polokwane City, that's unfair, guys.
I said
That's
Brighton. Is Brighton Man City?
Why is it unfair? We do have a Brighton type of vibe. It's
Is
unfair.
Brighton
Why?
Man City?
No, it's Super Sport.
No, Super Sport is Arsenal. Consistently kept confed. They are always the 3rd team. They are Arsenal. The gap is still far. Arsenal and Man City was very far from each other.
Let's just say Super Sport is Arsenal and Brighton.
There's not the same thing,
They
Leo.
make up for the 4 spots because why? Brighton can introduce these players we don't know about Ecom, which we find out which actually they didn't sign about Tito Maswanga. They didn't develop.
You're getting into technicalities now, Malume, so that's not the argument. Can I not ask them to be 4th?
Anyway, you
Third,
can.
fifth, sixth. Can I not ask Golden Arrows to be that?
Hear me out. You can. Please don't make me lose my train of thought because now I just thought of an actual pride team, which would be Stellenbosch, but it's fine. All I'm saying is, Mr. OT, let's have right levels to criticize our team, and let's be wary of the quality of players these teams have. If
6
we
games
want
in a
cer-
row, Malume
if
Kutso.
if we want certain teams to maneuver, and when he tries to maneuver, you start seeing which actually the guy is frustrated. Maybe the only way is for Mabuti to part ways with Golden Arrows. But all I'm saying is, Mr. Ocean,
Is it fine to lose 6 games in a row? A fifth of your season.
It's definitely not. But I'm saying, but you see, you're confusing which I think it's fine to lose 6 games in a row. No, I'm actually saying maybe he's losing 6 games in a row because he doesn't have quality. And if someone's gonna say, no, quality doesn't matter, quality definitely matters, Mr. OT.
I
which is
didn't
why
say it
give-
didn't. I
which is
said for
why-
Golden
which is why I
Arrows.
give examples of Real Madrid, which they can be an autopilot, which is why I gave an example of our beloved Sundowns, which at some point the coach was like, it's not time for tactics right now. It's time for Ribeiro and Shalulile, and they brought home the cup.
And that was exactly. He got to a time where he said, what? I need to do something. That was my whole point.
Some teams don't have I think you're really missing this thing. Some teams do not have a Shalulile on
Why
court.
don't they have it if they have 30 players then? Okay, let me ask you that. What's the point of having a team of 30 if you can't, at some point throughout the season, in a 6-game losing streak, maybe win 1 game from the 6? Is it too much for me to ask that Umabuti Kenyeza not lose 6 in a row? That's what I'm saying. Is it too much for me to ask for Jose Rivero, who has a very quality squad, to actually get results consistently at the beginning of the season when they weren't playing well? That's why I'm not comparing them. I'm saying that we seem to have excuses for every single PSL coach. I'm saying, Mabuti, you're on a 6-game losing streak. Anywhere else, it's your job. It should be your job. But then we're still going, no quality. What? 1 game. And in those games, he lost to Richards Bay. If I'm not mistaken, Richards Bay is second last. So now, are you also telling me that he can't go beat that guys? Because we're trying to make it sound as though they play Sundowns every week. That's what on this point, I've been saying it ever since I've been live. You don't play Sundowns 38 times. You play them twice. So Chiefs, is it too much for me with all of your facilities and quality and all of that stuff to beat Richard Bay? Golden Arrows, you were number 1. You had quality. Hey, your players were amazing. Is it too much that when you are losing right now, you can't go and beat me Richard Bay, for example? That's what I'm saying, that we're giving them excuses. The league, for the most part, is not a high quality league. So I have to look at Golden Arrows and say, okay, Golden Arrows, in your peers, which is more than half of the league, you can't go and beat me those guys. You can't just win 1 game out of 6. Alright, guys.
Mr. OTL, that's my case because I won't use one. Now,
No, I think we're misunderstanding each other. We're misunderstanding each other. My problem is the coaching. Your tools are your tools, guys. Your tools are your tools.
I'm not okay with a team losing 6, but
that was the premise of my point.
If we want to criticize a team losing 6 games using a team that has so much quality,
that's not what I was saying. I was saying at the base of it, Malume Kutso.
Because you were like, Urulane can change things. I'm like, no.
Yes, okay. And the base of that action, why doesn't Mabuti do it? Just the action.
Exactly.
No, the action.
Then the quality issue comes in.
But you've lost 6 games, Malume Kutso. You've lost 6 games. I'm not asking you to go dig in Rulani's bag. I'm saying you've got a bag. Go and find something in your bag because you've lost 6 games.
I'm on my knees right now. Please give me a chance without
guys. No, you keep changing my point and putting words in my mouth. But anyway, go on.
If we can compare Stellenbosch to Abo Golden Arrows, that's fair. That's fair game.
And what does Coach Barker do well? I literally said to Coach Barker,
we can't use Pirates. We can't use.
I never use them.
That's why give me a chance. You'll understand. We can't use Jose Rivero winning 3 cups in a row to criticize the Golden Arrows. That's why I'm saying we can't use Coach Rulani to criticize the Golden Arrows. We can't use Coach Rulani to criticize the TS Galaxy. Let's be fair. Compare apples to apples. That's where I rest.
Okay, I'm not even saying apples to apples. I think the way we're losing each other is I'm saying that you can cry for a TV, a flat screen TV all you want. But if you only have a whiteboard, make the best out of that whiteboard. I must know, Choki Aka sits like this and Choki Aka sits like that, and I do this and I do that. It's the example I always use is I can cry for sushi as much as I want, and I can't afford sushi, I'm broke. Mangtengi sinkwa to satisfy that thing. So if the hunger is the thing, Rulani does it by sushi, I need to be able to do it by sinkwa. But if I'm not able to do it by sinkwa, then how? I'm not even saying you must be sushi. I'm criticizing the act of coaching. You saw something wrong, you did something about it. Rulani saw something wrong and made a change. Ne? Steve Kompela saw something wrong and did nothing. Then he saw something wrong the next game, the same thing, and did nothing. Then he saw the same thing the following day and he did nothing. That's my thing. I think he's the one who says he wants to play out from the back. Now, looking at Steve, he saw something wrong. Why is it too much to say to a coach, guys, fix it? I need you to fix it or figure out something. I'm not asking him to be Rulani. Sean, you wanted to just say something quickly?
Me, I just wanted to say, when they were telling Mabuti Kanyeza about getting his licenses, he said a piece of paper is not coaching. He's the one who does the coaching. So we can't feel sorry for such people, guys. It was gonna happen. it was gonna happen because they're not obsessed with not football but knowledge. They're not gaining knowledge. I mean, it's we can say whatever you want to say about Siedramovic, but he's working with what he has, and he's actually developing players, and players are actually being they're improving, and people are seeing that improvement. That's why they sold 8 players, there's 7 players at the end of, if you look at Mr. 4 in a row, he needs licenses because he's capable of making players, of giving players the confidence to play football. He just now. So I agree with you when you say you need to work with what you have. I mean, Brentford is working with what they have. Brighton is working with what they have. We need to work with what you have. And when you say 6th place for Golden Arrows, you are telling the truth. We don't want Golden Arrows to win the league, but Golden Arrows must seem competitive. You see, and you can only do. I mean, how can we have 400 coaches in this country that have a CAF license? And then we come to a league where we have so many players, so many coaches without the CAF You know what I mean? So this thing of doing favors in our league is also a problem. But that is my 2 cents, guys. Mabuti Kanyesa said it's not the paper that coaches, it's me. So now we are seeing what happens when he coaches.
I don't even mind the other stuff, guys. To be honest with you, I don't even mind the other stuff. That's my only point is you see something wrong, you do something about it. That has been my only point the whole time. I think we have too many people, even in the country, you'd say, there's too many people who are willing to see something wrong that's happening, and then we don't even attempt to try change, or we make excuses on their behalf, and we're like, how? Mabuti Kanyeza or the coaches in the league, let me not say Mabuti Kanyeza. The PSL is meant to be the 16 best coaches in the country, right? And my issue with especially the Kanyeza one is nobody was talking about quality when they were number 1. No one was talking about quality. When Golden Arrows was pulling miracles with what they had and they were number 1, no one was saying, oh no, this and this and this. In fact, it showed you that you can. You get me? You can do that. Look, guys, you did it at the beginning of the season. Now they drop off and they go all the way down and people are losing or whatever. And I'm like, now coach is saying that these players don't listen. These players were listening. Weren't they listening? Sninin. Weren't they number 1? Sninin just now. Beginning of the season. First, 6, 7 games, 8 games. Weren't they listening? So now, all of a sudden, coach comes out and is comfortable to say, After seven games, it's like, guys, yeah, no, these players, guys. Like, this is where I'm struggling with that thing. And again, my issue is not that we're comparing apples and whatever. All of those apples and oranges are 16 points behind Sundowns at the end of the year. That's 5 games and a draw in order to be level with that team. All of them. So when a Pirates to when a Richards Bay, all of you guys are nowhere near this team who has won by 16 points last year, who won by 13 points the year before. All of you. So if we keep making excuses tailored to each coach, no, Jose is trying to do this. No, Mabuti doesn't have. No, this one. No, Yazi Oprah Steve. Okay. Because there's one team up there, and believe it or not, there's one team up there. It may seem nice to be Rulani with quality and all of that stuff, but Rulani knows if he were to lose 5 games, look at what happened to Mangoba. If he were to lose 5 games, it would be very hard to compete the eyes. It'd be very hard. So he knows that I cannot sacrifice games and then sit back and go, this is the reason, that is the reason. Because in another situation, we criticize Jose. And when you criticize Jose, what do people say? No, but he's got such a big team. And, sometimes there's so much quality. And then he has to bring back the star players and Abolochi star. We were having these conversations. So now I've got an excuse tailored to Jose. I've got an excuse tailored to Mabuti. I've got an excuse tailored to this one, an excuse tailored to that. Excuses. Where do we go as a league? That's my thing. Because I'm like, guys, there's no way, guys. You coach for a living, guys. These guys do it for a reason. You sign that contract. You're with those players every day for a reason. De Zerbi knows that he'll never have Man City's budget. But he makes sure that in the Brighton, we could be, by our quality, it says that we're meant to be number 12. But you know what? I'm pushing us to 6. And you know what? When Man City comes, she's over some days. And you know what? We're going to have a discernible football. We're going to have this. Mas loser, as loser because we got beaten. Not loser because I was stubborn with my tactics. I am trying to build. No, guys, we can't be doing that. That's my problem with the PSL. We do this for the players as well. No, but how can he do this? How can it? It's like, guys. It's for me, guys, like it goes to ambition, it goes to wanting to do better. Maybe Mabuti does great at golden arrows and that gives him a chance to go somewhere else. But then if you don't do great at golden arrows and you're poor at golden arrows, you get what I mean? Before Sean, I let you in, let me let Malume have a say quickly.
I'll quickly say this. The type of players that we produce in the league are not good enough to take the league anywhere. Sundowns is buying quality, and the players that they get mentally they're okay, and they're also okay when they play as a unit. Whereas you get players at Chiefs who are big-headed, who want to showcase. They are players who want to showcase who they are, who they were. Like e.g. Ever since Adoli got back to Chiefs, the only thing he has done, I stand to be corrected, he has divided the Chiefs. He got back to Chiefs from overseas, and he became a star. Instead of getting to Chiefs and making Chiefs grow. You see, with the youngsters that we have, all of the youngsters get chances to play, but because the senior players are not supportive of the younger players, and those younger players are not developing to good players, because at the training, coaches have favoritism.
Yeah.
And I was one of the people that were saying when they gave Zwane a chance, I was very happy, because Chiefs will never go anywhere. You see what we need now? We need an overhaul to take all the players out of the Chiefs and start all over again. Because with the current players that we have now at Chiefs is not going anywhere. You can give them 5 million. You can give them 10 million. They're not going anywhere. Reason being, the older players that we have at the Chiefs who have no winning mentality, for one. Players who don't know what it means to wear a Chiefs jersey. Back in the days, you know what, Dr. Kumalo, even when injured, he wanted to play. The type of players that Chiefs have now, they don't love the Chiefs fans. They do it to get paid. And also in the PSL, currently in the PSL, you get players, you see lack of jobs in the country are creating the type of players that we have. Soccer now is something people that fall into. Not because they love, they will see themselves going into being stars. In Europe, in Europe, players live soccer, eat soccer, breathe soccer. Here in South Africa, we got drinkers. Senior player who drinks to come to the training drunk. What does it tell the youngsters? It tells them that it's cool to drink. As long as I play for Chiefs, I get full salary. I, for one, Chiefs will never go anywhere. I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a diehard. I've loved Chiefs from the day I was born because my dad is a Chiefs fan. And I've loved Chiefs from back then, and I will love Chiefs forever. But if someone would ask me, do I see a good future for Chiefs? No. And people, I hear people saying it's management problem. It has nothing to do with management problem. Remember when Chiefs, when Zwane was coaching, he was crying about having quality players. And when Segi got in, do you remember how many players he was bought? He was bought every player that he wanted. But when Zwane was coaching, he didn't get the material that he wanted. They always said, the players are expensive and all that. There's no enough budget and all that. But when Segi got in, from technical director position to coaching, he got the players that he wanted. And he was given support, full support by Junior. Whereas Mangeta was never got the same type of belief.
Okay.
I do like with what Mamba Putikanyeza said. I do agree with him. A coach doesn't put the paper with the license. It's a person who coaches. But a person must not have must not divide players because favoritism is part of the problem at PSL.
Thank you. That's exactly.
Certain players are loved too much, are darling of PSL. Even players are not even performing. They get time in and time again. Remember when Chiefs got Billiard, he was everyone's favorite. And each and every game, Billiard was losing ball. When he loses ball, he doesn't go to mark. That doesn't help anything on the defense because there's an extra player coming from where Billiard was, and it frees another player to go every position.
That's why, Malume, I'm saying, Ore, that's my issue here, is that Dolly is perceived to be a star. So Utoli, every coach that comes in plays Utoli, right? And I'm going, if Utoli is not performing and your team is losing, at what point do you say, Yazini Utoli, I understand that you are great and all of that, but it's Shabalal. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my issue, because now we are saying it's a quality issue, but I'm saying that you have a team of 30 players. Some of those players we've never seen play. Some of those players we don't know how they'll react on the pitch. What I do know is that Sluzama came. Na play Alcona Sluzama came. Maru coach solo mketa until coach gets fired. Coach Omunyang and does the same things. And then you go, Mara guys, ni coach anini. Like what are you guys? What is the point of the coach if all of you are going to do the exact same thing under the exact same, you're going to make the exact Utoli star. Yes, Utoli. When I look at my squad, Utoli is number one. Therefore, even must loser, Utoli ngzomdlalo. Utoli, when he comes back from injury, he goes straight into the team. But I'm like, but we've seen him. Why sing a chinchige? Why sing a mfagi lawyer? Utoli, maybe he's an 80, but he's playing at a 45. It's in his Fagelu 50. It's in his Fagelu 50 wami, also Dalagu 46. You get what I mean?
Yeah. What about the issue? I got this issue with the PSL clubs. it doesn't matter whether the club doesn't have resources. If you got hungry players that want to win, it doesn't matter whether you have best facility, you don't have facility, whatever issue you have. If you have players who have a heart and love of soccer, they can make you win. Remember when this English Premier League that won the first club, Everton? No, not Everton.
Leicester.
What? Leicester City. Leicester City didn't have stars. He had players that wanted to win. Same thing that could happen to PSL. Remember when Chess Galaxy went against Chiefs? They didn't have quality. They didn't have the best coach, but they went and beat Chiefs. Chiefs had the best quality and they had good facilities, and they had best of everything. But they went to lose against a team with no facilities, with no best coach, with no best players. But they made everything to win.
Okay.
Let's stop defending. Let's stop defending useless coaches. In South Africa, we are busy appointing coaches that are useless. A coach, you see, coaches like Klopp. Klopp doesn't have favoritism. He takes out even his own star. Yeah, there must be players that you see that they're playing regularly. But when they play regularly, you see that they deserve to play regularly. But the Chiefs, the current midfielders at Chiefs, I am not sure who deserve to play at Chiefs.
No,
they get a chance to play this week. They get the chance to play this week. Next week, even the same week that they get a chance, you just wonder, what training were they doing? Did they go to training? You know, I'm even thinking of going to Joburg at once and visiting the village, just to see how these guys are training. Because if it's not the coach's problem, if it's the coach is not the problem, and then it's the players. And if it's not the players, it's the way they train. Because those Kaizer Chiefs invested and appointed a doctor.
The
A
psychologist.
doctor who deals with players, the psychologist.
Yeah.
I don't see any change.
Okay.
Are you busy wasting money on psychologists? Just fire the whole players and start all over again. So that we do know that we're starting on a new leash.
Hey, Malume, I'm looking at the time. I've gone over by quite a bit. Thank you so much for joining me. I think I need to close it now.
Okay, Baba. Thank you, Baba.
Thank you. Sean, very quickly.
Yeah. I just want to answer Musa. Musa, there are minimum requirements now from the next season. The problem is the PSL. CAF and SAFA have agreed on this thing a long time ago. But because we are led by Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, we have to wait until the two best friends decide that it's okay to move on and improve our league. Guys, I really don't think we don't have quality players in the PSL. I think we do. I just think the problem is the coaches. Coaches need to get their qualifications. They need to watch football matches. They need to read. They need to keep on learning. That's all that they need to do to improve players, because players make it to the PSL based on talent, but to succeed, you need more than that, and you need support from the management, the club, and the coach's ability. And we don't have that in our league. We need that urgently. But yeah, that is my 2 cents. Kaizer Chiefs can never be saved, and Orlando Pirates, they should just continue being patient with their team. It's been 11 years, no trophy. They made it to 15 before. Let's keep the faith. They'll make it to 15 more. That's just it from me. Thank you.
Okay, no, guys, I'm going to close it. Thank you so much for joining me. These episodes are available on YouTube in full. Please, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't followed the TikTok page, please follow the TikTok page. Yeah, we have spirited conversations here, and we're still going to have spirited conversations for the rest of the week. 8 o'clock, Monday to Thursday, 12:30 on Fridays, 12:30 in the afternoon on Fridays. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys then tomorrow. Oh, wait, before I go, thank you to Chaklas, thank you to Malume Kutso for the gifts during the thing, during the live. Thank you so much for that. And thank you to the people who've joined me on YouTube as well. Like I said, Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m., we are here. I'll see you guys.